The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
Blue 38! Blue 38!
It's unique, it's international, it's the World League, and it's back for year 2 in '92. They are meccas of culture and commerce, two cities steeped in history and tradition. One is banked by the River Hudson, the other by the River Thames. These cities serve as the inspiration for film, song, and great works of literature. Out of the pen pages of great authors came tales of lore when brave knights traveled to wage great battles with monarchs. Today, that great tradition continues when the noble knights from New York and New Jersey travel far to Europe, where they'll try with all their might to dethrone the heralded monarchs and their king, Stan Gelbaugh. The World League's MVP led them to victory in the first ever World Bowl. Last year, it was the Union Jack which waved highest by season's end. But today, the season begins anew, and football's version of global supremacy is up for grabs. Welcome to historic Wembley Stadium in London, England, the site of many championship rugby and soccer matches and some of the best rock and roll shows you'll ever want to see. On this beautiful night, the defending World League champion London Monarchs play host to the Knights of New York and New Jersey. And hi, everybody. I'm Roger Twyba, and welcome to our first week of 11 consecutive weeks of coverage of the World League for 1992. There's been a renewed commitment by the National Football League for at least the next 3 years to the World League. And one of the keys of that commitment is the National Football League Enhancement Program. What that means is that players from National Football League rosters, 104, have been given to the World League teams. And when the final cuts were made, 64 of those players have remained with World League teams. So we expect the level of play to step up a notch by a considerable margin this year. If you're not familiar, let's go through the alignment right now. The North American East, the Knights, the Thunder, the Montreal Machine, and formerly at Raleigh-Durham, the Ohio Glory based in Columbus, Ohio. Then in the North American West, the Birmingham Fire, the San Antonio Riders, and the Sacramento Surge. And the European division of the World League shapes up with the London Monarchs, the Barcelona Dragons, and the Frankfurt Galaxy. A couple games played last night in the World League at Barcelona. Mike Perez threw a touchdown pass as Frankfurt comes up with a victory. Then in Sacramento, veteran National Football League quarterback David Archer threw a couple of touchdown passes as the Surge beat the Fire by a score of 20-6. And it's my pleasure to welcome my partner, Dick Vermeil. Nice to be here with you, Dick.
Yeah, nice to have you here.
Dick, you were with this league all last year. We were down at training camp in Florida. Assess for me where these teams are at right now as compared to a year ago.
Roger, I think they should be much better at this time this year. The organization's together longer, so they should be better prepared for the draft, which I think they were. Coaches, more time to teach and prepare their systems, more awareness of what to expect within the league. And the enhancement program, as you have mentioned, better players, better coaching, better organization usually means better football.
Speaking of the enhancement program, the starting quarterback for the Knights, Reggie Slack.
Reggie Slack comes from the Houston Oilers with 2 years of experience of running the run-and-shoot offense that he'll run here tonight. Starting out with 2 years of experience, big difference from last year when none of the quarterbacks had any experience. Improved offensive line, all 5 starters, brand new. Should be a better offensive team.
There have been some changes for the world champion London Monarchs. They have a new coach, Ray Wilsey, as their head coach, formerly defensive coordinator, because Larry Kennan, their coach last year, moves to the Seattle team as the offensive coordinator there. Some bad news, though. Early this week, it was learned that on Monday, the World League has indefinitely suspended wide receiver John Horton, the leading receiver for the Monarchs last year. He can reapply for admission admission to the league at the end of this year, but that's going to be a factor for this team. But the good news is they've got the guy back, Stan Gelbaugh.
Well, Stan Gelbaugh really established, and you could tell by the introduction crowd noise here tonight, he established himself as the first true superstar in the World League. But I think his biggest problem will be to repeat that performance level because, number one, he's lost his offensive coordinator. Larry Kennan was also the offensive coordinator. New coaches running last year's offense. It'll take them a while to get a feel for it before they get all 8 cylinders running.
Dick, look forward to your comments tonight. Also working with us, Jack Arute. He's down in the field. Jack?
Roger, when you talk about the career of Stan Gelbaugh, he's a classic example of what the World League can do for a quarterback. He started in the Canadian Football League 1 year ago, and then he moved to the London Monarchs, became their MVP, and went through the entire World Bowl championship season. He then signed with the Phoenix Cardinals, and now he's back in the World League, and he'll move on to the Seattle Seahawks. But Stan, you say that playing in the World League keeps your game sharp.
Yeah, I think particularly in this instance because we run the same offense here in London that we'll run in Seattle, so I think it'll be real beneficial for me.
The game today, what about the loss of John Horton? Any concerns, changes in the game plan?
Well, anytime you lose somebody like John, you know, a great player and a good friend, it's a loss for your football team. But we have to have somebody step up and make the plays.
Roger, when you look at the frequent flyer mileage he's got, we've been notified he's already gotten 2 free round-trip tickets to Europe.
Okay, thank you very much, Jack. The kicker, Phil Alexander, for the London Monarchs. He's one of the discovery players. He's from England. And the deep man, number 82, Cornell Burbage, second in kick returns. And Andre Alexander, number 80, also back for the Knights of New York and New Jersey. And the World League 92 on ABC is underway. Burbage will take it inside the 5. Burbage hauled down, far side 42. For the Monarchs was Harvey Wilson. And here's the quarterback for the Knights out of Auburn University, Reggie Slack. Last week in the tiebreaker game, 8 of 13, 105 yards. Set to go. 1st and 10. Ball on the 17-yard line for the run-and-shoot offense of Mouse Davis and the Knights. Wilkerson's the lone setback. 81 in motion there is Gilbreth. A lot of pressure on Slack to the near side. A man downfield. The intended receiver was number 88, Kip Lewis. And it was John Shannon, 71, applying the pressure. Let's check out the rest of the offense for the Knights. Burbage, Gilbreth, Wilkerson, the running back, the other receivers, Kip Lewis and Lonnie Turner. And then up front, the offensive line, Joey Baines, Leroy Truitt, Paul Wolf, Tim Moxley, Chris Dyko, the NFL enhancement players with the asterisk by them. And that's a rebuilt offensive line for the Knights as they gave up more sacks than any quarterback ever wants to imagine. 2nd down and 10. Gilbreth, the man in motion again. Out to the near side. Slack's got his receiver. That's 88, Kip Lewis. To the 27-yard line. And Roland Smith, 34, the man to come up with a tackle. That's a 9-yard reception. Defensively, Rich McCullough, Scott Miller, John Shannon, the men up front for the Monarchs. Linebackers are William Kirksey, Curtis Moore, Ken Sally, and Danny Lockett. And then in the secondary, Irvin Smith, Dedrick Dodge, the team captain, Dan Crossman, Howard Fagans. That's the defense for the London Monarchs, and a good one. Ray Wilsey, the head coach, a veteran of coaching wars, many years with the Raiders. First year head coach for the London Monarchs. 3rd down and 1. Lewis in motion to the far side. And the sneak by Reggie Slack. Looks like he's got plenty of it. He's met by the middle of the Monarchs line. Lockett came up to get in on the tackle, but that's going to be a 1st down for the Knights.
You notice right off the bat, Roger, that the run-and-shoot offense, they don't have a short yardage formation. They stay in the 4 wide receiver, even though it's 3rd and 1.
Well, Dick, they concentrated in their tiebreaker scrimmage last week. They rushed against Frankfurt for 139 yards, actually rushed for more than they passed, so they're concerned about that.
They are, but they didn't start out very well last week either. First couple of drives, they were very sloppy.
Slack, who's the 2nd leading quarterback for passing yardage in Auburn history, got some pressure, and he's nailed number 90, Carnell Smith. 2nd-year pro from Pitt. A loss of 6 yards.
Carnell Smith is the most improved defensive player on the Monarchs football team. Coach Jim Washburn told me that the other day, and he demonstrates that right there. Now, see, that's the disadvantage to the run and shoot, Raj. He's sitting there real short, real close to the line of scrimmage. He couldn't throw right on time. Therefore, the pressure got to him, got the sack.
Carnell Smith from Pitt had a couple of sacks last year, playing in a reserve role for the London Monarchs. That sets up a 2nd down and 16 from the 22-yard line. Gilbreth in motion to the near side. Quick pitch inside. It was to Wilkerson. They call it a forward pass and incomplete.
That's the shuffle pass. That's a forward pass. It's not a fumble. It's an incomplete pass.
Shannon and Miller. Shannon 71, Miller 73. The 2 men with the pressure, as Miller will check out of the game right now.
See, the quarterback will move right down the line of scrimmage here. See, now watch him flip it. See him flip it right toward the line of scrimmage right there. That is a forward pass, not a forward lateral.
3rd down and 16 as you look at John Shannon from the University of Kentucky. And 73 Miller, the man in on that last play, who's been taken off for this one. Slack with the keeper up the middle. He gets to the 23-yard line. Kind of a surprising call there, Dick.
Well, quarterback draw. You can call those kind of plays with Slack. Now, he may not have gotten anything there, but those 2 defensive tackles in these situations later in the ball game are going to have to be concerned with that type of play.
Gain of just a couple, 4th and 15. That's Bob Liljedahl. Averaged 42.3 yards a punt last year, and back deep to receive the punt, standing at his 33-yard line, is Leonard Conley. Off the side of his foot. Gets a good bounce, though. Conley will let it go as it rolls inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. And there's a look at Stan Gelbaugh. 49 yards on the punt, but he got about 20 of those on the roll. Gelbaugh, look at these numbers. 62% completion, 2,600 plus yards, 17 TDs, and 12 interceptions.
You know, on the practice field with him the other day, he now is more into this offense. He's actually doing a little coaching on the field as well.
Well, he's got to. In all honesty, the 2 new offensive coaches have never had that much experience at play calling, and so Gelbaugh is going to be doing a lot of it himself. Swing it out to the near side. That's Jeff Alexander, and Alexander will get across the 20 where he's brought down by Wes Pritchett. Across the 30-yard line, excuse me, as we take a look at the backfield. Judd Garrett, Jeff Alexander, split end is Sean Foster, Bernard Ford, Greg Harrell, the tight end, once again the enhancement players, and then this offensive line, Theo Adams, Paul Baradelli, Doug Marone, Larry Jones, and James Parrish. The Nasty Boys is what they call them. They did a great job last year.
Only one new starter, and that's Parrish, so they do have experience of playing together.
Hand off. That's Garrett. He doesn't run with the football that much. He's more of a pass receiver out of the backfield. Doug Mikolas came up to make the stop. As we take a look at the Knights defensively, Woods, Mikolas, Pat Marlette, Craig Slichting. That's the defensive line. Cecil Fletcher, Wes Pritchett, Ron Sancho, the linebackers. And then in the secondary, Richard Carey, Mark Moore, Philanda Newton, Tony Jones Newton, the outstanding player there. As we've got a 3rd and 3 from the 31-yard line. Garrett set up on the wing to the near side, and they'll go to him, and it goes right through his hands at the 35-yard line. On the coverage, number 49 there was Philanda Newton.
See, they were in tight man-to-man coverage, and Philanda Newton, normally the free safety in that man coverage, he came up and took the back out of the backfield, right in position to make the play.
So the first offensive series for the defending World League champions, not that good, and number 2, Paul Alsbury, will go back to punt. He's from Southwest Texas State in '85. Davis Smith, he's just a little guy, 5 feet 5 inches tall. He's standing at his own 28-yard line.
He could very well be the smallest player in the World League.
In any league. Once again, a good roll after the ball lands at the 40. It'll go inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line, and no score. 8:53 to go. First quarter from Wembley Stadium in London.
See, but they're in the 3-3.
And welcome back to Wembley. Reggie Slack, 1 of 3 so far for 9 yards in the run-and-shoot offense. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line for the Knights. That's Lewis in motion, coming back to the near side. Quick out. Intended receiver Monty Gilbreth, but it was Harvey Wilson over there on the coverage. Dick, what about the defensive package for London?
Well, Jim Washburn, the defensive coordinator for London, said they're going to come up with a 3-3 scheme, meaning 3 down linemen and 3 linebackers inside, which he means 6 people to defense and run, force them to throw the ball, get pressure on them from that defense, either with a 3-man rush or bring all 6 and cover with 5.
2nd and 10. Slack now 1 of 4. That's Lewis in motion. Good run right there. Wilkerson, the 42-yard line, where Crossman brings him out. 13 yards on the pickup for Eric Wilkerson, 5'9" and 181.
I really believe Eric is the best running back in the World League. You'll see him here running their little counter trap. There's the kick-out block right there by number 54, Truitt. See, he got a nice timing. This is a little addition to the offense. They didn't run much of this last year. Most of his running plays last year were draws. This year they're going to do a little more trap. You'll also see counter running by him. But he's the best running back in the World League.
Well, I think a lot of people will agree with you. We talked to the London coaches. They sure feel he is. Gilbreth in motion to the near side. 1st and 10 from the 43. Slack, good toss to the far side. And the reception made over there by Cornell Burbage. 11 yards on the pickup before Howard Fagans will knock him out of bounds. Very close to the first down. Looked like he just got outside of it. Depends where they're going to mark it at, though.
You know, in talking to Reggie Slack on the practice field, and, you know, with the experience he's had at Houston and running the run and shoot, he said the big thing you've got to do as a quarterback is to believe in what you see and throw in time. It takes a while to develop that confidence.
We have got a microphone on Reggie Slack and the head coach for the Knights, Daryl Mouse Davis.
Go.
First and 10 from the 46-yard line.
They're coming after him. They got him.
Boy, busting through there, number 99.
Anthony Thompson, at a stand-up outside linebacker in that 6-man front. 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers. Something that New York has not seen in the past. You'll see it here, right center of your screen. See all the linebackers? There's 99. He's not picked up, or he's tried to pick him up too low. Wilkerson missed him. You can't go down and cut him unless you can guarantee you can bring the rusher with you.
7 yards in the loss. What about those short drops by Reggie Slack? That makes him very vulnerable, doesn't it?
Any kind of penetration, or if you have to hold the ball at any time at all, you're in trouble.
Reggie Slack has been sacked twice now for 17 yards. They'll give it to Wilkerson. He's got room outside. Tries to cut it up. He gets to the 43-yard line where Dedrick Dodge really stuck him. That's the team captain, 10 yards on the pickup.
You can see right now they're going with a game plan of run that trap back in there to try to break up inside that 3-man line, 3-linebacker defense. It's worked twice in a row. Here's the trap block. You'll see now there's a kick out. There he is running right through there. Tuck that ball under. He's got a little too loose. That would make the coach a little nervous. But this guy can make you miss as well.
Wilkerson, leading rusher last year in the World League. 3rd and 6. Movement on the right side. That was Tim Moxley, 72, and then Dyko, when Moxley moved, he moved also.
Tim Moxley is out of Ohio State. This is his first year. His first year with the Knights, showing his inexperience right there. You'll see the movement right here. I thought you said it was going to be on 1. Nope.
It's never the offensive lineman's fault, right?
You offensive linemen are always like that, especially centers.
Yeah, right.
Always bent over that ball.
3rd and 11. Lewis in motion. Got a man at the 35-yard line. They say no. 86. Ronnie Turner made the reception. He felt he was in bounds. He's pointing it out to the official. That's the side the Knights are on. They're going to argue it.
I'll tell you, Mouse Davis thought he was in. I wonder, good thing we didn't have his mic turned on.
Irvin Smith was the man on the coverage as Bob Liljadal will go back for the punt. He's at the 37-yard line.
Is he in? Yes, he's in. Yeah, it looked like to me he had it in. He got it. I don't know. They're close enough to call it correct.
Leonard Conley, the return man.
Nice
big, high punt. by Liljadal. Conley is going to wave it off, and it rolls into the end zone. So timeout on the field, 5:10 to go. First quarter, no score. Monarchs and the Knights from London.
Flakes? Just flakes? Hey, hope you don't mind me saying so, but this stuff looks wimpy, you know what I mean? I mean, look at it. Who's going to eat this stuff? Nobody I know, I can tell you that right now. Good. Fine. I made a mistake, okay? But it's good. Simple, down to earth. I mean, that's a muscle, you know what I mean?
Kellogg's Cornflakes.
Cornflakes?
Taste them again for the first time.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
When life turns up the heat.
Hello? Yeah, hi. I'm Jeff Green.
There's Degree antiperspirant. Degree's body heat activated.
1 more minute.
To release extra protection.
Jeff?
Hi.
Degree, your body heat turns it on.
In a world of constant change, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential. Rock solid.
The world's best players came together for one of their biggest events. Now only 2 remain. It's the final of the Lipton International Players Championships, today on ABC Sports.
Dick, there's no replay in the World League, but we're going to take another look at this.
There's none in the National Football League anymore.
Right.
But see, he catches him, he reaches out, catches the ball right there. He's got his left foot down. Now it's whether his right foot gets down or not. Boy, that's close.
What do you think of the NFL leaving the replay down for at least a year?
I'd like them to stay with it.
Yeah. Stan Gelbaugh and Ray Wilsey are both microphoned as the Monarchs have it 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Gelbaugh's got some time. He's got Garrett open across midfield to the 45-yard line. 35 yards on the pickup before Philanda Newton finally brings him down. Dick, this was a guy that caught 71 passes a year ago. We're talking about Judd Garrett out of Princeton.
He's coming off the right side of your screen. It's a zone coverage, meaning they're not playing man-to-man, and he throws it right in the zone. Good pass protection, good throwing lane. You'll see no one on him tight man-to-man. Now you'll see the zone collapse outside and inside and make the play.
Wide receivers on 1st and 10, split to the far side, Ford and Foster. As they'll hand it up the middle, that's Garrett as he takes it down to the 42-yard line. What about the Knights defensively? What are they going to try to do against London?
Well, Joe Herring told me they were going to play a pressure defense. They're in down 4 most of the time. They move them around, but they're going to commit the linebackers. They're going to dog the linebackers, and every once in a while bring the safety blitz. They felt that was effective in the second game that they played them, and they want to do more of that this year.
2nd down and 7. You might recall Judd Garrett's 2 brothers played at San Antonio last year, and offside looked like it might have been drawn off by Theo Adams, the left tackle. We'll see how the call goes, but Judd, the only one of the 3 Garrett brothers still playing in the World League.
Before the snap, number 60, false start, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Well, that was Theo Adams. I walked in the locker room the other day, and he yelled at me, "Hey, Coach, what do you think? We got hot water this year for showers. We're going first class."
And they got a nice hotel to live in this year, too, huh?
They've really upgraded the act over here.
Well, when you win the World Championship, the World League Championship, you get that.
Vermeil.
Hey, it looks like everybody's going to be coming up. See, they've got 11 up there right now.
2nd and 12. Gelbaugh showing good mobility. He's going to tuck it under and makes the slide to the 43-yard line. Let's go to Jack Aru. Jack?
Well, Roger, we talked at the top of the show about John Horton, the most important wide receiver for the Monarchs, who was suspended for what most people are assuming is for substance abuse, will not be with the team. Bill Hicks is the general manager of the London Monarchs. How surprised were you at that response?
Well, we were surprised, but it was an unfortunate situation. We have to carry on as we can.
Were there any indications that there was going to be a problem, John?
No, there weren't.
Well, they're going to have to be able to go back, though, as I understand it. He can petition the league at the end of this year, can he not?
Yes, he can. He can petition the league. It was the league's decision. It was a move that the league made
but he can petition the league at the end of the year to rejoin us.
Well, Roger, they tell us that they're not all that concerned about it. They feel they still have some pretty fleety wide receivers.
We just saw a completed pass to Sean Foster on a third down play and a first down for London.
You know, we might mention here early in the ballgame that the wide receivers now cannot be bumped by the defenders if they're lined up wider than 4 yards, so they get that good, clean release off the line of scrimmage.
First and 10 from the 29-yard line. Screen pass to Garrett. Inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Number 33, Dan Land, and Mark Moore, 25, make the tackle. 13 yards in the pickup. Garrett gives you so many options, doesn't he, Dick?
Right, and he's not given much credit for being a running back, but as a senior at Princeton, he ran for 1,347 yards, was player of the year. Now, see, he's showing his running ability here in the screen. Good blocking by his forward wall. He picks up his blocks right there by Larry Jones, 68, and moves the ball forward. But he can run with the ball. Just he's not a burner, that's all.
First and 10 from the 17, tipped at the line of scrimmage. Looked like it was number 58, William Kirksey, linebacker out of Southern Miss, who got a piece of the football. Excuse me, Cecil Fletcher. Fletcher, number 58, 41 tackles a year ago. So with 1:29 to go, as you take a look at George Warhop.
Yeah, and this is the first experience he's had in any of his coaching career of calling offensive plays. Line coaches don't get that responsibility very often. He's working in the booth with Bill Schmitz.
25.
They expect blitz.
From the outside, Gelbaugh gets it away, but a lot of pressure right there by Philandon Newton, as Gelbaugh did the wise thing, threw it deep, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
You know, sometimes defensive coordinators tell us what they're going to do, and then they don't do it. Joe Herring said we were going to come after him with some blitzes. Well, there was one of them. Good pressure, no time to throw.
And George Warhop, this has got to be a big moment for him. He's never called plays really in a game before. He's been an assistant in the college ranks, so it's a learning situation for him. With Stan Gelbaugh, they've got to establish some rhythm. 3rd and 10 from the 17, less than a minute to go. First quarter. Coming near side, got a man right there. Finds number 85 on the reception. That's Tony Sargent, the 5'9", 180-pounder out of Wyoming. That's an 8-yard pickup. Richard Carey on the stop. It also stopped the clock as it starts going again right now with 25 seconds.
See, they went from blitz coverage, tight man-to-man pressure defense to a loose zone. Now the experienced quarterback, Gelbaugh, he reads that, lays it off. They don't make the first down. They're going for the field goal.
27-yard field goal attempt. Phil Alexander, 9 of 13 a year ago.
Nice pop.
And the field goal is good. 27 yards for Phil Alexander. And that ends the first quarter. We'll be back after this from our ABC. Roger Twyvell, Dick Vermeil, Jack Arute. Alexander just kicked a 27-yard field goal. Dick, you mentioned he went down to Atlanta to see Mick Luckhurst.
He spent some time with Mick Luckhurst. You know, he's a fine kicker in the National Football League in his own right at one time. And he said he helped him control his body mechanics in kicking, therefore eliminating the problems that improper position of the body in the ball and causing inaccuracy because of it.
That's a heck of a kick right there. Remember, they use a 1-inch tee.
He has a strong leg.
Right, 1-inch tee in the World League. We'll be back with more from London right after this.
Tastes like a beer, cause it should, cause it's brewed like a beer. Of course it's good. Have a couple, have a bunch, one for the road, 3 for lunch. Let's be perfectly clear, it's what beer drinkers drink when they're not drinking beer.
O'Doul's, the brew from Anheuser-Busch, with the alcohol naturally removed for real beer taste and only 70 calories.
Anytime, anywhere, it's what beer drinkers drink when they're not drinking beer. O'Doul's.
That's a pretty good imitation.
A moment, a conversation. It shouldn't feel any different when you're talking long distance. We think you should be able to call anyone, anywhere, anytime, and still save money. That's why we invented the new AT&T Any Hour Saver Plan. We don't think you should have to make lists or watch clocks. $10 for an hour of calls anytime. Then bonus prices of just 11 cents a minute after 5 and on weekends. Because how you talk is your business. Making it more affordable is ours.
Service to more cities across the Atlantic than any other U.S. airline, Delta now makes it easier than ever for the people of America to get to know the people of Europe.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
See ya.
Guten Tag.
Richie. Delta. We love to fly and show.
Здравствуйте.
Addict sentenced to cleaning up instead of being locked up. Drug court. It's working in Miami and catching on across the country. ABC's World News Tonight this week.
In the scoring drive, key play, Judd Garrett, 35-yard reception from Gelbaugh, and then Alexander, the 27-yard field goal. Last year, London 40% on third down plays. They just did another nice third down play with that field goal right there to get on the board. 3-0. The score, we're just underway second quarter, as New York will take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. And movement up front. Now, whether that was the nose tackle Scott Miller that busted the center Paul Wlaf or the other way around, we'll just wait for the official to tell us.
Normally, it's the nose guard.
Before the snap, encroachment on the nose guard, 5 yards, still first down.
That's why you were a coach all those years. You know that stuff.
No, it's not that. I used to get so mad at my nose guards, Charlie Johnson and those guys, Kenny Clark. I say, you guys are lined up. You're 6 inches from the ball. You're close enough to smell it, yet you can't see it move.
Miller does something interesting on the nose. He kind of keeps his hand, as soon as the ball goes up, his hand follows the ball.
And they get cocked off to one side sometimes, too.
1st and 5, they're coming strong. Slack finds the man downfield. That's Monty Gilbreth. Loose ball, fumble, picked up by the Knights.
When it's
at the 43-yard line, it was picked up by 88 Kip Lewis.
This is what some of the people say about little receivers, that they're small, the ball gets knocked out. You'll see him coming from the right side of your screen. Now, here he comes. He's going to throw back. There it is. Bang! He catches. Now, watch. He gets it tucked under, number 81. Now, watch the ball get stripped out right there. People say they're little, they're small, they can't hang on, they're not physical enough. That's not always true. In that case, it was.
1st and 10 now from the 43, just underway second quarter. Wilkerson trying to reach the outside. Penalty markers down as the tackle is made at the 45-yard line by Danny Lockett, the 6'3", 248-pound outside linebacker who was the Tri-MVP in 1991 in the World League.
He's eaten himself into a guard spot. He's about 15 pounds overweight right now.
Holding number 61 of the offense, 10 yards. Repeat, first down.
And that was Paul Wlaf, the guilty party, the center. Started 10 games at Raleigh-Durham last year. We talked about, Dick, this rebuilt offensive line for New York. How long is it going to take them to get it together?
Well, physically, they appear to be bigger and stronger and maybe better athletes, but it'll take them 3 or 4 games before they really gain the continuity and the feel for working with one another and get used to the run and shoot protection skills.
1st and 20. Draw play. Wilkerson. Little help from the official right there as he's across the 40 to the 41 where Dedrick Dodge makes the tackle. Let's take a look at the numbers from the first quarter of this game. You see the first downs even, rushing yards, a little disparity there. Passing yards, London more than New York. The red zone points, 1 out of 3 for London, so they had more chances.
Yes, time and possession pretty much the same. The big thing is if London puts the running game along with that passing game, then they could start dominating.
Red zone, of course, inside the 20. 2nd and 12 from the 42. Gilbreth in motion to the far side. Downfield, he's got it. That is 81 Monty Gilbreth, and the stick there very near the first down marker by Dedrick Dodge. Let's go to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Roger, as Dick Vermeil will tell you, you never want somebody to spout off before a big game. But it's even more important when your general manager does it. Now, in USA Today on March 20th, Reggie Williams, the general manager for the New York Knights, quote, "Our team as it presently exists would have won the World Bowl last year. We are stronger unequivocally." Well, Ray Wilsey, the coach for the Monarchs, read that to the team on Friday, then taped a Xerox of it to every player's locker.
First and 10 from the 45. Wilkerson wide open. One man to beat. That man's got a hold of him inside the 20 at the 17-yard line, 29 yards on the pickup. Howard Fagans was the man that got him.
See, that's the problem with blitzing. You're going to blitz people. Someone has to account for that back out of the backfield. Obviously, the person disciplined to take him broke the discipline, did not pick him up, turns him loose. Nobody else around him. Everybody else covering receivers man-to-man.
Nice job by Fagans to bring him down. There's Wilkerson, caught 26 passes for 273 yards last year. He's got 32 rushing, 29 receiving in this game. First and 10 from the 16, and Gilbreth will go in motion to the far side. McLemore is checked in at running back for the Knights. Down the middle, touchdown. Touchdown to number 88, Kip Lewis. 16 yards on the touchdown pass to Lewis, the second-year pro from the University of Arizona, who had a big playoff game against London last year.
Oh, he caught 9 balls last year, but he read the zone. You'll see him coming from the left side of your screen. Quarterback moves right, stops, throws back, reads the zone, settles in the hole. There's the ball right on time. Well executed, especially for this early in the season.
Kendall Traynor will come in to try the point after. And keep in mind, the two-point conversion is optional in the World League. And the Knights lead it 7-3.
All right, how many this time? 8 cavities. 14 cavities? I didn't think I had that many teeth. They're gonna have to drill. My parents will be very upset.
Parents today hope their kids won't have to go through what they went through. Luckily, today's kids use the toothpaste more dentists recommend, Crest. Crest fluoride formula strengthens tooth enamel, helping to protect against cavities.
Another great checkup. Yes. Woo, woo, woo. Later, dude.
Crest, the dentist's choice, is the easy choice.
It's been fun.
You can say that Microsoft Windows makes the world a better place, a nation more productive, a business more profitable. But really, Microsoft Windows just makes your everyday work easier. Isn't that the point of personal computing anyway? Microsoft Windows.
Last week at the Lake Edna KFC, there were 2 incredible occurrences. One was the long-awaited introduction of new skin-free crispy chicken. People were astonished that skin-free chicken could be so crispy and juicy, astounded over the deep marinated taste. And the UFO is interesting, too. Get 3 great kinds of chicken, including new skin-free crispy in a variety bucket, just $9.99. The juiciest deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
Imagine being in the Rose Bowl for Super Bowl 27, or in Montreal for World Bowl 1992, the World League Championship, or in London to see the Washington Redskins versus the 49ers in the American Bowl, or relaxing in Hawaii with the NFL's greatest players in the Pro Bowl. Now imagine being there for all of pro football's biggest events. You can win this grand prize in Pro Football's World Tour Sweepstakes. Stay tuned to this game for more details. The World League, expanding the future of pro football.
NFL players are banging heads in the World League. It's too legit to miss.
The excitement of the World League continues next week on ABC Sports.
Kendall Traynor to kick it off. The 1-inch tee has been a problem for this young man. None of the kickers found out about it until training camp. And you see that kick coming out to the 15-yard line when Leonard Conley will take it, and he's tripped up as he makes to the 30. A penalty marker is down on the field. It looked like Dave Adine was the man that got a piece of him. 16 yards on the return, and we got a little fisticuff going on down there right now.
Remember
and
now,
another penalty flag comes down, and this is one of the differences in the World League, because they'll identify the people that are fighting, and they will send them out of the game for 2 consecutive plays.
And they can be penalized by the league. I mean, financially penalized.
Exactly. And in this league, you're not making quite the big bucks that you are in some other leagues, and you don't want that to happen.
Well, foul, team, Holding on the kickers. We have a personal foul, number 93. That will be penalized, 15 yards, first down.
That's the call. 11:22 to go. First half. Knights lead the Monarchs 7-3. We'll sort it all out for you when we come back.
As you can see, the actual size of a Jolly Rancher candy is 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, square. But the actual taste of a Jolly Rancher candy is immeasurable. Jolly Rancher candy, the great taste of fruit, squared.
You rode the same rides, ate the same junk, got the same heartburn. But his antacid's different from yours. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums.
I love Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. And I just know someone's going to find out.
What type of adult would come forward and admit to eating a kid's cereal?
I don't just love them, you see. It's more of a craving, a visceral sort of desire.
That sweet crunch in cold milk is a taste no adult can resist.
Honestly, I never even touched the stuff.
Yes, he does.
I'm sold. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
Well, yesterday, the London Monarchs, the 1991 team, received the spoils of their World Bowl victory. A special ring commemorating their inaugural World Bowl win right here at Wembley Stadium. Now, the ring is a story in itself. In fact, when they made these rings, Jostens Incorporated found they had to make a size 22 ring. For one man, Danny Lockett, right behind me, it's the second largest ring they've ever had to manufacture. Guys, do you know who the largest ring belongs to? William the Refrigerator Perry.
Thank you, Jack. First and 10. 46-yard line for the London Monarchs. Judd Garrett goes to the wing on the far side. Gelbaugh going deep. Nearly picked off.
You know,
49, Philanda Newton was the man back who nearly picked it off. The intended receiver, Dick, was Greg Harrell, the tight end.
They took Greg Harrell, the tight end, to try to get him isolated on a safety because they put the corners to the slot. Here they rolled up double zone. See, he did not have to cover him one-on-one. They rolled short, had him covered deep. Still looks like Greg Harrell will probably the Oakland Raiders. LA Raiders can run. Good speed.
Well, when you were with the Eagles, they were the Oakland Raiders.
I tell you, I was born and raised around those Raiders.
Second and 10 from the 46. In motion to the near side is Foster. They'll give it up the gut. And number 20 with the carry is Jeff Alexander. Tony Woods makes the stop. Scoring drive, 6 plays, 80 yards, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The key play was the Wilkerson reception of 29 yards, and then Lewis with the touchdown from quarterback Reggie Slack.
Yeah, see, the big thing, Reggie Slack has the understanding, and he gets the ball to guys like Lewis. When they all read it properly within that run and shoot, boy, it's tough to stop.
There's Reggie. Third down and 9.
Hey, Brent.
Gelbaugh, intended receiver over there was Bernard Ford. Got a hand on it. Richard Carey on the coverage. And coming up later today on ABC Sports, one of the biggest events in tennis, $1.7 million at stake as Michael Chang takes on Alberto Mancini for the Lipton International Players Championship. That's at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, and Pacific on ABC Sports. Paul Alsbury, number 2. And back deep is 85, Davis Smith for the Knights. Smith is 5'5", 149 pounds.
Air Force.
Ooh, nice high punt. Yeah, it sure is. Fair catch called for at the 21-yard line by Davis Smith. The Knights lead the Monarchs 7-3, 9:32 to go. First half, 32 yards on that punt.
Monday.
2 things a woman doesn't have to be told.
when she's pregnant and when her husband doesn't love her anymore.
An ABC theater presentation.
Hey, Broadway mama, step right into these arms.
TV Guide calls it 2 standout hours of television. Anne Bancroft, Hume Cronin, Jonathan Silverman, and Corey Parker in Neil Simon's Broadway Bound, Monday.
Are you watching this again?
It's got everything. Action, drama, latex paint.
Tuesdays, America's grunting again. Why aren't you?
You've irritated the tool gods.
Everyone's in love with Home Improvement, the top 10 comedy hit with... It's the most popular new show of the season. All right! Home Improvement, Tuesdays on ABC.
Did you watch her slash her wrists?
I do anything he asks me to.
Your father hasn't touched me since he had his operation 3 years ago.
I don't want to lose anybody else, you know?
Civil Wars, Tuesdays at 10, 9 Central.
Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll take a look at first-half highlights. Jim Valvano, who joins our World League announced team in 3 weeks, will speak with us live from Bristol, Connecticut. He's keeping close tabs on the first weekend of World League action. And Julie Moran looks at just who is playing in the World League.
I'm looking forward to it. This is showtime. It's so different. Any experience is good experience. I think it's really fun.
That's all coming up at halftime here on the Prudential Halftime Report. 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line, Reggie Slack in his first professional start. In motion to the near side, number 80, Andre Alexander. They got trips left. Going downfield, and the catch by Alexander at the 41-yard line. Dan Crossman, the MVP of the World Bowl a year ago with the stop, 21 yards on the pickup.
See, now the defense is inviting them to throw because they're stacked against the run with those 6 men inside tight, 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers. What's happening, Slack is throwing efficiently. He's throwing the completed pass. A year ago, New York, New Jersey Knights didn't throw that consistently. So they might change the defensive game plan as we progress.
1st and 10 from the 41. In motion is Alexander again, and they've got trips to the left side.
Zero special.
Audible.
Go.
Going right side. He's got his man over there in the reception at the 35-yard line. Number 86, Lonnie Turner, 24 yards on the pickup as Irvin Smith makes the tackle.
Here, bump and run coverage. Now that defender cannot chuck him. He cannot make contact. It's like basketball one-on-one. Actually, good coverage position. Just an excellent throw. High and over the outside shoulder. Pulled him away for the defender, and that guy's a short guy. Well done by Slack.
Slack now 8 of 12 for 128 yards. Alexander in motion, 1st and 10 from the 35. Throws behind Alexander at the 15-yard line. Crossman was on the coverage. We've got 8:02 to go in the first half, Dick. I can't believe how fast this game moves.
I know it, really, with a clock being of the 25-second clock, the 40-second clock, which last year was a 35-second clock. It's going quicker. The officials are into the World League. They're more used to it. The whole ball game's moving faster. I'll tell you, there's no comparison between the New York, New Jersey Knights tonight than last year at the same time.
Load 61, X-Slide bingo. On 2, ready?
Load means they're going to run a man in motion left to a strong formation left.
Go.
Here he comes. Here he comes left.
That's Alexander. Gets rid of the football and broken up, nearly intercepted. 42, Wilson was the man that nearly picked it off, but it was Rich McCullough with the pressure on Reggie Slack.
See, originally he had too much time. The pattern didn't develop. You'll see him now. He comes slightly to the right side of your screen. Now McCullough, 95, working upfield, gets the pressure. Here comes Curtis Moore, gets the rest of the pressure. But good defensive reaction right there. He's very fortunate that that was not intercepted.
2 of 4 on 3rd down situations for the Knights. 3rd and 10. Slack gets rid of it, but incomplete.
See, they came with pressure again. 53, Curtis Moore. You know, the coaches were talking about him. Dennis Danielson, the linebacker coach, was telling me, he said, this guy is going to be a headhunter in this league, Curtis Moore. See, they set up, they have heat coming. Again, Eric Wilkerson not doing a good job of blocking. That's the one advantage of having the small running back in a run-and-shoot offense, not big enough to take on the linebackers.
Curtis Moore was a walk-on at Kansas, led the Big 8 in tackles his sophomore year, suffered a knee injury his junior year. 52 yards on the attempt.
Yeah, you know, he ended up with 350.
Kendall Trainer, and a penalty marker is down. Out of the hold of Liljadal, and it's going to go against London.
Let's see what the penalty is.
12 men on defense, 5 yards. Repeat, 4th down.
The old Kansas play out of the Orange Bowl against Penn State, 12 men on the field.
I'll tell you, that's the penalty fine at 5 yards, but when you start moving the ball closer to the goal line, you increase the percentage of the opportunity of the kicker to make it. Dumb on defense. Dumb on defense.
So Trainer will try it again. Last year, 8 of 13 in the field goal department. 47-yard field goal attempt. His career best is 46. That's low. And that's a career best for Kendall Trainer. 47-yard field goal. And the Knights lead it 10-3. We'll be back to London right after this.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Last week at the Lake Edna KFC, there were 2 incredible occurrences. One was the long-awaited introduction of new skin-free crispy chicken. People were astonished that skin-free chicken could be so crispy and juicy, astounded over the deep marinated taste. And the UFO is interesting, too. Get 3 great kinds of chicken, including new skin-free crispy in a variety bucket, just $9.99. The juiciest deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
Dear Thompson's, I swear by Thompson's water seal. But recently we ran out of Thompson's. And later, my son finished the job with another brand. Then it rained. What a difference. Thompson's beat it up, the other brand nothing. Thanks for making a product you can really believe in. Sincerely, Marvin Snoddy, Locust Grove, Virginia.
Now from Thompson's, 2 8-inch Stanley screwdrivers, a $2.99 value free with any Thompson's purchase.
It is the tournament where legends are made. Golf's first major of the year, the Nabisco Dinah Shore. Coverage begins Saturday on ABC Sports.
Welcome you back here to Wembley Stadium as the Knights get set to kick it off. Kendall Trainer really got a big help with that 5-yard penalty, Dick.
Christmas came early, kicking outside the 50 in the World League last year, and then moving inside that 50 in that 40 range. He improved his efficiency 34%. That's a pretty good bonus for a 5-yard penalty.
Well, it was a career best for Kendall Trainer. 6:02 left to go, first half. Back deep, Charlie Young to the 15-yard line, and he's brought down by number 33, Dan Land. Let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack.
Roger, you notice we're seeing a lot of run backs. Well, it's part of it is because of the rule change using a kicking tee. Now, this is the normal NFL-size tee. It's 3 inches high and gets the ball right up there. Now, this is the World League tee. It is only 1 inch high. Gets the ball a lot lower to the ground, and kickers say they can't get the height that they need to kick it into the end zone. We see a lot more run backs.
That's what they want to see. They want to bring the kickoff return back in the game. 1st and 10 from the 15, less than 6 minutes left to go. First half, Gelbaugh down the middle. He's got Garrett. Beautiful running by Judd Garrett as he gets to the 40-yard line. Finally coming over to make the stop, Dan Land and Philanda Newton, 26 yards on the pickup.
Garrett will be coming off the left side of your screen. See him 22. Now watch what he does. He reads the zone. Now what he does, see him settle down right there. He didn't run and cover himself. Very intelligent receiver. That's why he caught 71 balls last year.
Well, you can hear the crowd here singing, "We're going to rock you." 1st and 10 from the 40. Trips to the far side. Up in the pocket, and that could be interference. It should be interference. And you see,
that's pass interference.
You can see Tony Sargent going, "What's the deal?" as Philandon Newton gave him a pop before the ball got there.
Philandon, one of the better safeties. You know, he made 75 tackles last year, so he knows how to hit people. It just appeared that he got there. Oh, there's no question. Absolutely no question.
Now,
that official, that field judge, ought to donate his check to charity this week.
Well, that field judge just happens to be Phil Luckett, but there's a big screen here where all the fans can see it, and that's why you're going to hear the boos. We show the replay, they're going to see it.
Blue 25.
2nd and 10.
Blue 25.
Dropping back in coverage. Right over the top, Foster with the reception at midfield, very close to the first down, and Richard Carey having a few words with Sean Foster. 10 yards in the reception. Foster is taking the spot of John Horton in the starting lineup. We mentioned the officials. There they are: Jerry Austin, James Duke, Sandy Rivers, Jeff Rice, Jim Knight, David Wyatt, Phil Luckett. Many of these officials have NFL experience and continue to work in the NFL besides the World League. Handoff to Alexander. He gains about 3. Run on the right side on a first down play. Cecil Fletcher and Tony Woods both come up to make the tackle. Jeff Alexander there, the running back, number 20 out of Southern University.
Had 2 big games against the Knights last year, gaining over 100 yards twice against them. His 2 best games of the year.
Had a 41-yard touchdown run against him. 9 TDs on the year as we go 2nd and 8.
Blue 25. Blue 25.
They're coming after him.
Gelbaugh got a man. Penalty marker is down as Bernard Ford, the intended receiver. Garrett was also in the area, but a penalty marker thrown. Going to have a holding call against London.
Now,
tonight, don't miss the special Sweet 16 party on Life Goes On. Then after America's Funniest Hour gets you ready, Steve Martin and Michael Caine move in for the comedy kill. They'll take your money and leave you laughing in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Sunday night movie premiere tonight on ABC. You know, Michael Caine's got a restaurant right around the corner from our hotel.
Yeah,
maybe that's where
that's
where we ought to go.
Maybe you'll buy there tonight, huh? Look it into your wallet a little bit there.
Absolutely.
You know, already I have seen London receivers drop a couple balls that group last year would not have dropped. It's tough when you lose quality people.
25.
2nd down. You see Ohio leading Orlando in the 2nd quarter. 2nd down and 18. Screen to Garrett. Garrett to midfield. Richard Carey makes a tackle. I don't know at 6'2" and 220 if Judd Garrett might be the fastest guy in the world, but he's got great quickness. He's able to change direction.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'll add something to that. What he's got brains. Intelligent runner. See, there's a screen. He felt the defense. He knew he read it properly. Instead of going outside with a screen, he took it back up inside. Found the hole. Intelligent football player. That's why he went to Princeton.
3rd down. 9 yards to go. 2:44 left in the first half. Gelbaugh going to Garrett. Knocked out of bounds. Fine tackle there at the 43-yard line by Richard Carey, 2nd-year pro out of Idaho. As you look at Judd Garrett, and when they need that big 3rd down, when they need that yard or 2, that's the guy the Monarchs will go to.
I sat in the locker room the other day and visited with him, and I asked him specifically about going to Princeton and majoring in religion. I said, did you have any notion to go in professionally? He said, no, it was just from a philosophical standpoint. I wanted that background, and he said I could go into law school, though he doesn't think he would. He might end up someday coaching football.
4th down. Alsbury at the 42. He's had punts of 40 and 32 yards. Davis Smith will wave it.
Now,
let's see what the call is. Looks like the official's going to put it at about the 1-yard line.
2-yard, 1 or 2-yard line. I don't think, I think that's a touch. It's down at the 1.
46 yards on the punt. It was tipped. It was tipped while it was still in play and out of bounds. Looks like about the 2.5. We're at the 2-minute warning. We'll be right back.
When it crunches, that's why I love Nestle Crunch. Gotta have it, it's so scrumptious. Love that chocolate when it crunches. Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch Scrunches.
After my heart attack, my doctor prescribed a regimen of exercise, eating right, and Therapy Bear enteric aspirin. Enteric means it's safety coated so it doesn't dissolve till it's past your stomach.
Therapy Bear enteric aspirin.
It's not easy to pull yourself away, pull yourself away, pull yourself away from a bowl of Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Flight 421, you're cleared for takeoff. Do you read?
Those 2 scoops of raisins taste so good, you'll find that once you start, you can't leave behind. It's those 2 scoops that taste too good. Pull yourself away. 2 scoops that taste too good, too good, too good. In Kellogg's Raisin Bran. 2 scoops. Living no better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
NFL players are banging heads in the World League. It's too legit to miss.
The excitement of the World League continues next week on ABC Sports.
The end of that 46-yard punt, that's Curtis Moore. Dick, he makes a great play.
Real good play. See, he keeps his body out of the end zone, doesn't step on the goal line, bats it out of bounds. Hey, now they've got a 98-yard field to play on.
And that's a tough thing for the run and shoot, isn't it, down on the 2-yard line?
You don't have any tight ends. You don't have a power running attack. Now they have that counter trap they've been running. Maybe they'll come with that.
1st and 10, 1:57 left to go first half. Slack, got a man. Oh, it's right in his hands, and a penalty marker goes down. The intended receiver right there was Byron Williams. Howard Fagans put the stick on him. And a late flag came in.
I think he's calling a personal foul.
After the pass was overthrown, number 33, a late hit, personal foul on the defense.
And that's Dan Land as Ray Wilsey. Well, he's the former defensive coordinator. When one of his guys makes that sort of play, they've had some costly mistakes there.
Dedrick Dodge.
Dedrick Dodge.
Dedrick
number
Dodge.
33.
He's an experienced player. Well, at least we know that if the field judge is awake, he made a call. He missed one a little while ago.
So that's a 1st and 10 now, as the ball will move out to the 17-yard line. Boy, that time, plenty of time for the quarterback, Reggie Slack, and they did call it a good reception. Looks like it was a first down, 11 yards. Irvin Smith on the coverage as 86, Lonnie Turner, the veteran from Cal State Pomona. Lonnie's played in more football leagues than I think maybe anybody.
Well, he started out with the LA Express in 1983 in the USFL. You heard the call. I'll tell you, he has a nice touch in the ball, tight spiral, very accurate.
Davis Smith, the man who moved to the far side. 1st and 10 from the 29. They come near side to Byron Williams. He had it and he dropped it. Fagans was on the coverage.
You know, for this defense to hold up, they're going to have to get more pressure with those 2 down defensive linemen lined up on the outside shoulder of their tackles. The start of the ball game, they were getting pressure. Right now, they're not getting the pressure. They're giving too much time to throw.
Here we go. We got any time here
142.
Rip Liz, 91 switch on 1. Ready?
Rip Liz means he's going to start in motion right and then come back to the left. See, he won't cross the formation. See, he starts right. Now he'll come back.
6 different nights have made catches on 2nd and 10 from the 29. Slack will go up top, and he throws it right into the hands of number 99, Anthony Thompson. Still on his feet, and he's pulled down at the 13-yard line. No New York, New Jersey Knight player was there at all. Thompson 31 yards on the return before he was finally brought down by the little wide receiver Andre Alexander.
He'll come from the left side of your screen, number 99. See, it's a throwback pass. He throws back without looking first. See, first thing you have to do is throw with your eyes, then your arm. He didn't throw with his eyes. Here now, Anthony looks like a running back. Anthony played for the Denver Broncos for 10 games a year ago.
1st and 10, ball spotted at the 11-yard line with 1:31 to go. Golden opportunity now for London to not just tie this game up, but possibly take the lead. Pressure on Gelbaugh, and a bad throw for the intended receiver, but Ron Sancho was the man that came in there and got a piece of him.
He came in unblocked, so evidently they had a hot receiver principle on, and the quarterback was, if that man came, he was supposed to dump it quickly, and he did not dump it quickly. You'll see the linebacker comes from the outside of the right of your screen. He sees him late, and now he tries to dump it off. He should have read that sooner and dumped it quicker.
Ron Sancho out of LSU, two-time honorable mention All-America.
Yeah, proud papa of a new baby girl just a few weeks ago.
Ford split to the near side. In motion was Tony Sargent. They'll swing it out of the backfield, trying to hit his running back, Jeff Alexander, who made just 12 catches a year ago. And the pass goes incomplete.
Roger, when you get down inside this area, defensively, you don't have as much ground to defend, so you can come with more pressure, cover the receivers tighter. I look for London to go downfield with like a post or post corner move, or do the same thing from an inside position with Judd Garrett doing those sharp breaking moves working upfield.
3rd down and 10. Receivers will flip side. Ford goes to the top of your screen.
Blue 95.
In motion is Sargent. Gelbaugh, penalty marker down. Gelbaugh gets rid of it. They signal a touchdown to Tony Sargent, but there's a penalty flag down. And the Knights are signaling it's against the Monarchs. And Gelbaugh says, yeah, it was holding.
Everybody in the Knights defensive line called it as well. Gelbaugh did a nice job of standing in there and allowing that pattern to develop down inside. They came back inside with a post move off another breaking route. It took time to develop. Someone grabbed on.
They'll move the ball back to the 21-yard line. Now it's 3rd down and 20. They can get a first down without getting into the end zone. 117.
The big thing here is don't take a sack. Don't take a sack. You'll get out of field goal range.
London 6 penalties for 50 yards. Gelbaugh eludes the pressure. He's going to tuck it under and go for the sideline. Gelbaugh pulled down at the 10-yard line. Over on the tackle is number 25, Mark Moore, who made 54 tackles a year ago. And that's going to set up a field goal situation now for London.
See, that was a good move. He really gained yards. Now it's, what, a 27-yard field goal. Much better percentage chance of producing one.
So Phil Alexander will come on. They'll spot it at the 18-yard line, so a 28-yard attempt for Phil Alexander.
He never missed one from this distance last year. He was 6 for 6.
He's got a good, strong leg, and he knocks it through. His 2nd field goal of the night, and he was the top Operation Discovery player a year ago, 1st team All-World League. He's from London. You mentioned he went to see Mick Luckers. Of course, Mick is an Englishman also.
That's right, but he wanted Mick to help him learn to better control his body in the kick. So, therefore, the leg would swing more accurately. Evidently, it's helped him.
Next Sunday on ABC Sports, World League Football hits hard with regional action. The 1991 North American West Division champion Birmingham Fire will meet San Antonio, or the Sacramento Surge go after the Ohio Glory. That's live at 1 Eastern, 12 noon Central and Pacific next week on ABC. 29 seconds left to go in this first half, and the Knights lead it 10-6. We're at Wembley Stadium in London. Good crowd here tonight. They had over 61,000 for the World Bowl here, Dick. This has been one of the enthusiastic franchises in the World League, as all of the European franchises, but this probably more so than even the other two.
Yes, I think so. And the other thing what you really notice about over here, the fans are involved in buying hats and T-shirts. They all come. You know, the kids have them. And today coming over here, we saw some young kids in full uniform playing football.
Burbage at the 5-yard line, picking his way through, gets to the 20, and he is stopped right there at the 20-yard line. Curtis Moore, 53, comes down and makes the tackle. Keep in mind, folks, 36 players on the roster. The European teams get 3 more. They get 39 because of their 3 Operation Discovery players. But, Dick, the starters also play special teams. As you see, Curtis Moore, he's going to catch his breath at halftime.
You're doing right. Plus, it's a way to establish himself in another area of football to be evaluated by the National Football League.
1st and 10.
Mouse won't sit on it. He'll take it downfield.
23 seconds. Slack going far side's got a man out there, and the reception is made by Lonnie Turner with Irvin Smith on the coverage.
Within this 2-minute period, the clock will stop each first down, but they've called a timeout here.
So timeout with 12 seconds to go first half. Let's go to Jackaroo. Jack?
Let's tell you a story, gentlemen, about Mouse Davis and this team. Now, you know a nickname like Mouse, but when they played in Frankfurt last week, at the pre-game meal, they actually found a mouse. And they all thought, well, this is a good omen. So the story going around the hotel all week was who was going to find a mouse for the pre-game meal today. They met and they decided they better not, because the hotel might get upset. So, you know, they're always looking for an edge, and they were looking for it today.
You know, mouse is not a good omen if you're going to go ahead and eat at that restaurant. I'm going to tell you that.
I know that. I'm glad we're not there.
I've known this guy for well over 20 years. When I used to work in Portland, Oregon, he was a high school coach in Hillsboro running this offense. Head coach at Portland State University, the Denver Gold, offensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions. But he likes to run his own show.
You have to do it his way. He's a very hard worker. His staff works very hard. They're very detailed in their preparation. They put in a lot of hours in preparing a football team, but it has to be his way. That's why he's always better off being a head coach.
He brought 36 receivers into camp. Now they've got 7. 2nd and 5, 12 seconds.
The tallest one was 5'2".
That's right. Draw play to Wilkerson. Yeah, they tried to fool him there.
See, to me, there was one thing. They've got to get the ball in this guy's hands more often than the ball. If you're going to win, put the ball in the good player's hands.
And that's Wilkerson who you're speaking about. We've got a timeout on the field, 7 seconds. You're looking at Danny Lockett right there. I mentioned the tri-MVP of the 1991 World League, 46 tackles, 13.5 sacks, led the league.
Here's Lockett right there, 94. Now working on Joey Baines. He gets a draw block, ladies and gentlemen, where you just turn him to the outside and let the draw get up underneath it. But Lockett will not be as good a pass rusher unless he sheds another 12 to 15 pounds. Otherwise, he's just another guy. Look at those chubby cheeks.
6'3", 268. I was going with his last year's weight. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I had him about 248, 250.
Ray Wilsey will get the weight off him, believe me.
He will. Danny Lockett played at the University of Arizona, coached by a good friend of yours, Dick Tomey.
Yep.
We saw Kip Lewis from Arizona catch a touchdown pass tonight. So
Lockett has those pass rush instincts and the skills. And there's old Ray Wilsey. I was on Ray Wilsey's practice field the first time he ever practiced at Cal, University of California, Berkeley, as the head coach. I was a high school coach in the area, and I went over and watched him practice. That's how old I am.
Slack 10 of 19, 143 yards, an interception and a touchdown, and they'll just hand it off to Wilkerson. And that will end the first half with the Knights holding a 10-6 lead over the defending World League champion London Monarchs. So it was a fast first half of football. That took just a little bit over an hour, Dick. Let's go down
to the ball a lot.
Yeah, let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, I'm with Mouse Davis, and Mouse, your team is at least leading by 7, but you played it kind of loose there when you were backed up against your own goal line. It cost you.
Yeah, that's what happens. Sometimes you throw it to the wrong guy. We've still got great confidence in what we're doing, and we're still going to put the football in the air and move it up the field. We just need to shore it up a little up front, give ourselves a little more time to throw the ball. We'll be all right.
Now, you know you've never beaten these guys, and you go into the locker room, you've got an advantage. Or do you kind of wait for the other shoe to drop? What are you going to tell the guys inside?
Well, same thing is, we got just one half. We're going to go play another half. You know, I think we're playing well enough. We got to get a couple turnovers. We can't turn the football over. Play a little better, pick it up a little on special team, make a play. We make a play, then we're in good shape.
Well, good luck to you.
On offense, on defense, got to make a play.
Good luck to you, Mouse.
Hey, thanks.
That was one of their concerns before the game, special teams performance.
All right, thank you, Jack. Of course, the Monarchs have won all 3 of the previous meetings against the Knights. We're at halftime, 10-6. The Knights lead it. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Welcome to Pro Football's World Tour Sweepstakes. Keep watching the World League every week. You can win trips to the hottest pro football action in the world, the Super Bowl, the World League's World Bowl, the NFL's American Bowl, and the Pro Bowl. There are 10 weekly chances to win. Here's how to qualify. Each week, a 3-digit code will be announced during the game broadcast. If it matches the first part of your 7-digit home phone number, use that phone to call 800-582-5377. Limited to 1 entry per week. This week's code is 762. The phone lines are open until midnight Eastern Time tonight. Each week, someone will win a 27-inch color TV and be a finalist for the grand prize, Pro Football's World Tour. Remember to enter, call 800-582-5377. Watch the World League every Sunday for your chance to win. The World League, expanding the future of pro football.
Edie's a loving mother.
Let's go shopping.
And a friendly neighbor.
Step away from the door. Step away from the door.
Linda Lavin's back.
Why don't you just take care of your own life? Can I help it if I finish early?
Room for Two premieres Tuesday right after Roseanne.
Here's why you should buy Pontiac Grand Am right now.
How's it stack up against the imports?
Grand Am starts at just $11,899. That's $1,100 less than Honda Accord and over $2,300 less than Toyota Camry.
I looked at the imports again, but decided on Grand Am for quality, dependability, and value.
Grand Am features all this and lots of excitement.
I bought a Grand Am, and now my friends are trading in their imports.
King, Bill Carnes, Coons, Nix, Jay Coons, Brett Beck, Steve Smith, Star.
Marlowe's Great 2-day sale is now Marlowe's Great 4-day sale. Because when you offer savings of 1/3 or more on everything, 2 days just doesn't cut it. So for 2 more days, you can save on every chair, every lamp, every picture, every sofa, table, love seat, everything. At savings of 1/3 or more. This Saturday, 10 till midnight. This Sunday, 11 to 9. Savings of 1/3 or more at Marlowe. This weekend only. Don't miss it.
Washington's in jeopardy every day, 7:30 weeknights on Channel 7.
Halftime report. Brought to you by Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid. The Prudential.
We're at halftime at Wembley Stadium in London, England. The game between the Knights and the defending World League champion London Monarchs. Hope you're enjoying the first half of this game. This is the first weekend, of course, of the World League for 1992, and we want to try to familiarize you with some of the players and people who make up this league in the weeks to come. With the report, here's Julie Moran.
The coaches and players in the World League are a diverse mix of talent, from former college standouts to European athletes getting a taste of American football for the first time to the classic NFL veteran. Each, of course, is involved for a wide variety of reasons, but number one across the board being the pure joy of just playing football.
Sean Moore led Virginia to new heights. Then he signed with the Denver Broncos and never played. Now he's with the Birmingham Fire.
It's been such a long time since I've been on the football field, and just taking a hit, I'm looking forward to it.
Operation Discovery, which places 3 non-Americans on the 4 non-U.S. teams, gave Guillermo Gomez a chance to play in his home country.
The quickness of the game, the toughness, it's just showtime for me, football. I'm not a player yet. I'm working on it.
Barcelona Dragon fans are perhaps the most enthusiastic. Coach Jack Bicknell loves the fervor.
I think they really enjoy everything about American football, the cheerleaders, the band, the halftime shows, and then the game, and maybe in that order in the beginning, but I think the game's becoming more and more important.
After 10 years as the head coach of Boston College, Bicknell is enjoying this new challenge.
So different that it's unbelievable amount of fun.
He was MVP of last year's World Bowl, leading London to the league championship. After years as a backup, Stan Gelbaugh has become a revelation.
Any experience is good experience, and the World League, what that does for me is it gives me a lot of playing time that I might not get in the NFL.
If all goes as planned, next season Gelbaugh will be back in the NFL.
I'm an example of what can happen if you're in the right place at the right time.
Don't call it a comeback.
My NFL career was exciting, it was successful and complete. But at 32 years old, I'm at that place in my life where you start looking at things that you can't ever do again.
So after 3 years off the field and before it was too late, Brian Holloway decided to return to something he really loved.
And I tell other NFL players who want to come back and experience football like they've never experienced it before or how they believe the game to be, they should come back, and if they can afford to, play in the World League. It's really fun.
In a world of sweeping changes, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the Rock. The Prudential Rock Solid.
Thanks for joining us. Susan, what's new tonight?
Nothing, honey.
Can't you make up something, darling?
Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch is new with a deliciously sweet new recipe.
Anything new?
Nothing, honey.
Anything changed?
Nothing, honey.
Anything different?
Nothing, honey.
See you tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
It's a whole new Nut and Honey Crunch, and you'll love the nutty sweet taste.
He just won't open up. Watch this. What's new, Pete?
Nothing, honey.
Like a brick wall.
New Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch.
My health club always had Pert Plus in the locker room.
It cleans, conditions. It's great. And one day they switched. This one said it had conditioner in it, but my hair told a different story.
Some 2-in-1s don't lather as well or leave hair feeling as clean. Others don't fully condition. But Pert Plus's microbead conditioner leaves hair clean and completely conditioned.
So now when I go to my club, my Pert Plus goes with me.
Pert Plus. There's no 2-in-1 like this one.
Most guys kick back on the weekends. Jack, on the other hand, good. So how do you feel?
Ready to rock and roll.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
Tomorrow,
we're sleeping in.
Saturday, ABC Sports offers a break from the madness. 2 championship events. First, bowling's Triple Crown begins with the Bud Light PGA National Championship. Then it's golf's first major of the year. The LPGA's best compete in the tournament where legends are made. The Nabisco Dinah Shore. It's all Saturday on ABC Sports.
Michael Chang is playing outstanding tennis in 1992. He has won 2 tournaments already. He's trying to make it 3 here at the Lipton in the championship match. On ABC later today, he will take on from Argentina, Alberto Mancini. That's 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 Central and Pacific. Join us.
And we welcome you back to Wembley Stadium at halftime. The Knights lead the Monarchs by a score of 10-6. And along with Dick Vermeil, I'm Roger Twibel. Fast-moving football here in the World League. That first half just went by, but one thing we noticed was the improvement in the offensive line play of the Knights, Dick.
All 5 guys, new players, weren't here last year. Much better protection. They've given up 2 sacks. Last year, the Monarchs sacked the Knights in 3 games 29 times, 14 times in 1 game. So you have to give them credit for making a giant move forward offensively.
What about the Monarchs? What's been their problem getting points on the board other than the field goals?
Well, good defense. The Knights were one of the better defensive teams in the league last year. Well coached. The concepts are good. Change-up coverage. But I think what's missing a little bit is the ball going downfield. Larry Kennan offensively was a guy that Raider influence, or taking the ball downfield, and I think we'll probably see a little more of that in this second half. Get the ball downfield and see if they get that one-on-one situation.
Of course, we're delighted to have Jack Arute here with us tonight. He'll be with us for a couple more weeks, but starting in week 4, we'll be joined on our World League coverage by Jim Valvano, our ABC basketball analyst. And folks, it's a little known fact that at one time in his much checkered career, Jim was an assistant football coach at Johns Hopkins. Jim, are you with us from Bristol?
And if I had a coach like Dick Vermeer when I was playing quarterback in high school, I might have been all pro someday. I'm coming.
You
in
bet.
3 weeks, I'm coming.
And it would have been a natural.
That's it. I just want to throw the ball up.
Jim,
I don't want to run the ball. Just throw the ball.
Jim, all seriousness, I mean, you've got a football background. You're a high school quarterback. You did at that one time at Johns Hopkins as a basketball coach, a little bit football. What do you think of the first half so far?
Well, I'll tell you something. I used to coach the wide receivers. That's what I did. Used to tell them all go down and out. Never go over the middle, and that's what I loved me. Hey, the first half sounded very, very exciting. There's no doubt about it. I also I thought Jack Arute did a super job. He stole all my material. I told him about the T. I told him about the story about Mouse Day. It's unbelievable. But it sounds great. I know I'm looking forward to working with everybody and also to doing games over there because the crowds are fantastic.
Well, we'll scout out some restaurants for you, Jim, for our next trip back overseas. We'll look forward to you joining us in a few weeks.
My pleasure.
Okay, thanks a lot. Jim Valvano back in Bristol, Connecticut. And we'll be back with more from Wembley Stadium, where the Knights lead the Monarchs 10-6. We're at halftime.
This World League Halftime Report has been brought to you by Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid: the Prudential. World League Football, brought to you by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows. By Kellogg's, proud sponsor of our 1992 U.S. Olympic team. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a buzz.
And we welcome you back here as we're set for the second half kickoff. The Knights' Kendall Traynor will kick it down. Charlie Young and Leonard Conley back for the Monarchs, and that's Charlie Young out of Stanford. Trying to get to the left and hit and falls at the 20-yard line. Wes Pritchett was the man that made the tackle, as Stan Gelbaugh will come out to lead the Monarchs and see if they can get something moving in the second half offensively. Dick, what do they got to do here?
Well, like I said during halftime, I'd like to see him go downfield and stretch that defense with those wide receivers a little bit more and then work back underneath it. That was their philosophy a year ago. Right now, they're in what they call a nasty trip set, a tight trip set to the right.
Pass intended for Sargent, incomplete, and it'll be 2nd and 10 as we take a look at the halftime stats.
Really, the stats are as tight as the score. You know, the score here 6-10 in favor of the Knights, and here it is: 135-yard passing, 127-yard passing, slide edge rushing to New York, the one turnover, and they came out of that halfway decent, giving up only 3 points.
From 21-yard line, Gelbaugh with plenty of time will tuck it under and slides to the 27-yard line. So Gelbaugh with a gain of about 5. Cecil Fletcher was the man there to make the stop.
See, the other thing, Jeff Alexander has had big games running the ball against the Knights in the past, and he has barely touched the ball.
3rd down and 4.
No huddle.
81. Quick scat left. L. Quick scat left. 10. Hunt.
Beautiful catch over on the far side. That was number 80, Bernard Ford, 3rd-year man from Central Florida. 7 yards on the reception. Tony Jones was over on the coverage.
Bernard Ford was the number 3 pick of Buffalo Bills in 1988. He was on injured reserve that year. He released in 89. Then he went 10 games with Dallas, in which he caught 7 balls. So he's been around a little bit.
He's one of those night-type receivers at 5'9" and 176.
Yes, and he ended up in Houston. See, so he's been in the run-and-shoot style offense, which, of course, is not the style he's running here.
Scat left, scat left.
Scat left means protection left.
First and 10 from the 35-yard line for the Monarchs. Going down the middle, nearly picked off. 25, Mark Moore.
Mark Moore knocked 3 balls down last year. He was in perfect position. You'll see he gets time to throw the ball. Little cross stunts inside, good protection. He slides in a nice throwing lane. Here he comes right down the chute. Good position. I'm actually surprised he tried to force that ball to him.
Moore was the first-team All-American at Oklahoma State in '90 and runner-up for the Jim Thorpe Award that year. Had 15 interceptions in his career at Stillwater. Second and 10 from the 35. Oh, nearly. Sancho nearly got the Gelbaugh that time as the pass was intended for Ford on the far side of the field. Gelbaugh only one of his last 6.
You know, he started out the very first part of the ball game. He was like 4 for 5, and he hasn't had another series since like that series. But again, pressure. See, they didn't protect the inside gaps real well. Man in his face.
1-1, ready? Third down and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Blue 25. Blue 25. Side. Hut.
Scott Foster wide open. Touchdown. Yards from Stan Gelbaugh to number 7, Sean Foster, the man who took John Horton's place in the starting lineup. First-year pro from Cal State Long Beach, and it was a catch and then a real good run, Dick.
Again, like we said earlier, get the ball downfield. People start settling on our short routes. Go deep, lay it up there, give the guy a chance to run underneath it. This actually was a slot out and up move with a post outside it. They didn't cover it properly, and here he is running on the safety. Now another safety, Mark Moore, comes over to try to make the play. Good execution, big play.
Good strength by Foster to carry Moore into the end zone as Alexander for the point after. And the Monarchs take the lead, 13-10.
Oh, now this is a rip-roaring combination. I mean, flakes with flakes. Pretty imaginative. I mean, you'd never sell me on something like this. I don't buy flakes. I date them sometimes, but I don't want to go into that. No, I thought I'd be bored silly by these, but they're simple and crunchy. Actually, I think you got something here.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes? Wow.
Taste them again for the first time.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day.
No better way to face the day.
So, how's it looking there? Really, sorry to hear that. I meant to, but I just been very busy. I've been brushing, but just not with Tartar Control Crest.
Tartar Control Crest helps stop tartar where it starts. It penetrates plaque before it hardens for easier cleanings, and more dentists recommend it.
That was easy. You know, I've been using a Tartar Control Crest.
The dentist's choice is the easy choice.
Ever hear this stuff?
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Fine men.
Monday, March 30th, the world's eyes turn to Hollywood. Billy Crystal hosts the 64th Annual Academy Awards live March 30th.
Daryl Mouse Davis, the head coach, trying to get his team jazzed up. They're behind now, and he's lost 3 consecutive games to the Monarchs. As Alexander will kick it off, Burbage is the deep man, and he'll take it at the 6. Oh, he had a nice gap there as he got to the 29-yard line, as 31 Dan Crossman makes the tackle. 6 plays, 78 yards. Foster, the 65-yard touchdown reception, played for George Allen at Cal State Long Beach.
Long Beach, okay. And he has that speed, you know, and he's here as an enhancement player from the Cleveland Browns, so it's nice to have him here.
Reggie Slack, his first professional start.
He's been impressive except for the one bad throw.
First and 10 from the 29. Go! Kip Lewis, the man in motion, trips left. Slack's got a man wide open. That's Cornell Burbage as he gets up close to the first down. Howard Fagans will make the tackle at the 39, 38-yard line.
Okay. Rip 60, Z-hook special.
Rip 60. Now that rip means he's going to run the man in motion from the left side of the formation and come over to the right. 60 is the pass protection. Now Z is the special pattern. That's number 86 at the bottom of your screen. He's going to be running the special route, reading the coverage.
2nd and 1. Gilbreth in motion to the near side. And he's got him. Lonnie Turner. Turner at the 43-yard line where Irvin Smith will make the tackle.
Good job. Let's go. Load 38 option.
Now load means motion to the left, and he's going to run an option now. Quarterback's going to come down the line of scrimmage and run an option. To the right.
43-yard line. Go. 1st and 10. First time they've run the option.
Should have pitched it too.
Midfield. Well, he picked himself up 7 yards.
Yeah, he should have picked it. Now, I'll tell you, Jim Washburn, the defensive coordinator for the night, said that was his biggest concern in the running game was the option play because of the way they're trying to play pass defense.
Carnell Smith, the man that made the tackle, the left defensive end.
Here we go. Be firm now. Let's go load.
There's Jim Washburn, the defensive coordinator. In the offseason, he's a sportscaster. He calls high school basketball games and does color for the Gardner-Webb games home in North Carolina.
Anybody can do play-by-play.
You bet. You better believe it. 2nd and 3. Right at midfield. Thrown behind the intended receiver, Kip Lewis, and he wants a flag. Crossman was on the coverage. Dick, the NFL enhancement program, there are 4 criteria for getting players. Returning players, styles of play. This is from the teams from the NFL sending players to the World League. Team needs and territorial. So styles of play, that fits Reggie Slack to a T.
Yes, coming into a run-and-shoot offense, yeah.
And there you see the 104 players assigned. 64 made it. Sacramento with the most 10, the fewest Barcelona with 2. Knights 1 of 5 on 3rd down situations. 3rd and 3, and Smith jumped across the line. The pitch back to Wilkerson, but the penalty's going to be against London.
Encroachment. It'll be encroachment, I'm sure.
Offsides. First down.
And that's another crucial 3rd down penalty right there.
That's a possession play right there.
And Reggie Slack, the Houston Oiler, when Warren Moon got hurt, suited up in the playoff game last year to back up Cody Carlson, 12 of 22, 158.
Good time now. Let's go load 60 Z choice stick on 2. Ready?
Load means going to motion the formation to the left. Now Kip Lewis, 88, will go in motion. Here he goes, motion left. Now 60 is the protection.
Got a man intercepted. Picked off by number 21, Irvin Smith. And Smith will be run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Smith had 2 interceptions last year, 13 yards on the return. Monty Gilbreth, the man who knocked him out of bounds.
Good position all the way to the right side of your screen. See, now he fires it right down, trying to throw the post. He had good position all the way, came in and dissected it. Here he is. Here's a guy who wants to be an FBI man. He shouldn't be stealing, should he?
We
service to more cities across the Atlantic than any other U.S. airline, Delta now makes it easier than ever for the people of America to get to know the people of Europe.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
Via.
Guten Tag.
Ritzy.
Delta, we love to fly and it shows.
Здравствуйте. You can say that Microsoft Windows makes the world a better place, a nation more productive, a business more profitable. But really, Microsoft Windows just makes your everyday work easier. Isn't that the point of personal computing anyway? Microsoft Windows.
Last week at the Lake Edna KFC, there were two incredible occurrences. One was the long-awaited introduction of new skin-free crispy chicken. People were astonished that skin-free chicken could be so crispy and juicy, astounded over the deep marinated taste. And the UFO is interesting, too. Get 3 great kinds of chicken, including new skin-free crispy in a variety bucket, just $9.99. The juiciest deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
It may be the first jewel in their Triple Crown, but to them, it's just another event.
Not.
It's the Bud Light PBA National Championship, Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
Our other ABC game in the third quarter, Orlando leads Ohio 13-3. Coaching debut for Larry Little, former great for the Miami Dolphins. 30,167 at Wembley Stadium. Gelbaugh, 11 of 22 for 199 yards and a touchdown. First and 10 from the 31. Right up the middle. That's Jeff Alexander. Gets about 5. Let's go to Jackaroo.
Well, Roger, in NBA action this afternoon, the Indiana Pacers defeated the Philadelphia 76ers by a score of 108-100, but Charles Barkley scored 37 points. William Kirksey, that's your cousin. You kind of surprised by that?
Yeah, he's not a cousin, but, you know, I'm quite sure he'll bounce back on the next team, whoever they play. He always makes up. But anyway, he needs to just keep his cool and just go and play the ball like he's capable of doing.
Can you imagine the conversation around the dinner table with those two pros?
Okay, thank you very much, Jack. As the completion out to the far side, Bernard Ford. It's a first down for London. Carey on the stop and the pickup of 11 yards. And it looks like, Dick, London's got some tempo and some momentum now going with their offense.
Many times that happens after taking the ball away like they did. Here it is, just a little stop here, and they get it to a little hitch pattern. You know, the Redskins won the World Championship last year in the NFL, and they run that play to death.
First and 10, 48-yard line. Carey over on the sideline, a little bit shaken up as Foster will come to the near side. Ford at the top.
Red 89.
Looks like they're coming after him right now with a blitz. He audible. Yeah. See, firm protection, meaning maximum protection.
And now a whistle. Too much time.
Yeah, get that shit in.
Offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Folks, we have live microphones. We have no control over what the players are going to say, though.
Plus, you know, this is not Sunday school class, you know.
Ray Wilsey doesn't say a whole lot. He's not a man of many words, but very stern, tough football coach.
Intense football coach, good football coach, a winning football coach, and he'll do a fine job here. He'll do a fine job.
First and 15 from the 43.
Andy, blue 25, blue 25, side, hit.
Wide open in the middle is his tight end, Harrell, and he drops the football.
Harrell is an enhancement player from the Los Angeles Raiders, and Steve Ortmeyer of the Raider organization called me this morning just to express how interested and how important they think the World League is to the National Football League and to the Raiders organization. They have 3 players on the rosters playing here today out of their program because they believe so deeply in it. He said all 3 of their guys can help the Raiders in the future.
Second and 15 from the 43-yard line. Swing it out, and he's got Alexander. Be very close to a first down. Philandon Newton came up And Ron Sancho also there on the tackle. And, you know, Herschel Walker wasn't the only football player that got involved at the Winter Olympics in the bobsled. Greg Harrell, who's playing tight end here for London, was also on the U.S. bobsled team.
He was the guy doing all the pushing right there.
You bet.
Shows he can run. He looked pretty good running that deep pass a little while ago.
He's got to forget about the pushing and start doing the catching, though.
That's right.
3rd and 10, 48-yard line.
25. Turn.
Gilbaugh's got a man near side. That's Sargent. Inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Philanda Newton and Vince Corville make the stop, 26 yards on the pickup.
Boy, that's really tough to defense. The Knights went zone. They went zone, and they stretched it with a man deep, a man short, and the man in the middle. And what you're seeing right now is the man in the middle making that catch. Ladies and gentlemen, they call that a vertical stretch pattern.
But unfortunately, London's had penalties, Dick, at inopportune time. They have another one. Holding is the call, and that's going to move the ball back to the 38-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 20. So they've got to come down to the 42-yard line for the first down with 5:30 to go, 3rd quarter. Plenty of time for Gilbaugh. He's got his man Foster to the near side. It's going to be short of the first down at the 46-yard line. Let's go down to Jack Aru. Jack?
You were talking about Greg Harrell and his run in the Albertville Olympics for the U.S. bobsled team #2. Well, he's become quite a cult hero here in England as well. He got together with the English bobsled team. He's been working out with them. In fact, what they've done is they're going to bring a bobsled to practice next week, and he and the team are going to show the rest of the team players how bobsledding is done. And they're also going to use it as a photo opportunity.
Punting situation now as Alsbury will go back to his own 40. Davis Smith standing at about the 12-yard line on the return on a 4th and 4.
Beautiful punt.
Beautiful high punt. That looked like it went above the stadium. And Davis Smith backs up inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 38 yards, no return. The Monarchs lead the Knights 13-10.
He's got a mouth that gets him in trouble.
You could learn my jockstrap in a suitcase. You either smoke or you get smoked.
But he's got the moves to back it up.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
Wesley Snipes.
Sofa. See ya. Wouldn't want to be.
Woody Harrelson.
You explain to this Gladys Knight and the pimps. The pimps.
White Man Can't Jump.
Ah! Hey, man, you were almost there.
Rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
It's not easy to pull yourself away from a bowl of Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Those 2 scoops of raisins taste so good, you'll find that once you start, you can't leave them behind. It's those 2 scoops that taste too good to pull yourself away. 2 scoops of raisins, golden flakes of bran. Get every bite you can. It's those 2 scoops that taste too good to pull yourself away. 2 scoops that taste too good in Kellogg's Raisin Bran. 2 scoops.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
NFL players are banging heads in the World League. It's too legit to miss.
The excitement of the World League continues next week on ABC Sports.
Welcome you back to Wembley Stadium along with Dick Vermeil and Jack Arute. I'm Roger Twibell. 3rd quarter. London leads it 13-10 over the Knights of New York, New Jersey, and they'll start it from their own 9-yard line with Reggie Slack, the quarterback. Go! Slack coming near side to Lonnie Turner, and he is stuck but good by Harvey Wilson, 2nd-year pro out of Southern, who last year made 27 tackles.
He did a good job of coming up on that one. He really nailed him. good, quick reaction by Harvey Wilson. As you said, he made 39 tackles last year and actually came in the blitz one time and got a sack. An aggressive secondary player.
Good size at 6'2", 200. As it's 2nd and 10. Gilbreth in motion to the near side. Down the middle and thrown behind his intended receiver, Kip Lewis. That time, Dick, we saw a different sort of a drop by Reggie Slack. He went back more toward the middle than angling.
Yeah, well, I think he did that more just knowing that he was going to throw down the middle rather than by real design, because they really don't have that kind of a drop in their offense.
Let me ask you about playing off the receivers because of that 4-yard rule. I mean, everybody thought it would really benefit the run and shoot. I mean, what have you seen from it so far?
I think gradually, as the offensive coaches get going and taking advantage of the rules, especially inside the 20, it's going to help the offensive football team.
3rd down and 10 for the Knights. Lewis, the man in motion. 1 of 5 in 3rd down situations. Man falls down, but what a catch! What a catch right there by Cornell Burbage, the 4th-year player out of Kentucky, for a pickup of 17. Dan Crossman made the tackle. What an athletic play by Burbage.
It'll be to the left side of your screen. Not only did he fall down, but the ball was thrown behind him, and he came up to his left. Now watch this to the left side of your screen. See, he's down on his knees, and enough athletic ability to come back up and take the ball going away. Very fine play. Here he is. Now see him slip and fall. Now watch him right here. Good job. Good job by him, and Danny Crossman, number 31, was right there.
1st and 10 from the 26. Slack 13 of 26 for 177 yards. A touchdown and 2 interceptions. Oh, goodness. There was nobody there on the option. Wilkerson goes over to recover the fumble, and that time, Slack went left. Wilkerson went right. He never looked to pitch. What a mistake. Kirksey with a lot of pressure.
Look. Quarterback one way, the pitch man, here it goes now. See, he flips it out there. Obviously, tailback went the wrong direction. He's not there. There's no one to catch a pitch. Here he realizes it and comes over and scrambles it. Wilkerson picks up the option pitch late.
Lockett was also the man over there, as we're presented now with a 2nd and 23. Well, not only is it you get smacked, but you're a little embarrassed, too.
Hey, that is embarrassing.
You'll take the hit. You can't take the embarrassment. Throws behind the receiver again. Crossman on the coverage of Lonnie Turner, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 23.
I think the coverage is deceiving the quarterback a little bit. He's reading a combination of a man and zone, and the receivers are not settling down as sharply as they did in that first half.
Is that what you talked about with Jim Washburn? We talked to him yesterday about that 6-man, that box. Is it working so far?
Well, I think it's starting to confuse him a little bit in the secondary, because they give him a man look and go zone, then they give him a zone look and go man. It's confusing the receivers.
And for a young quarterback like Reggie Slack, playing his first full football game in nearly 3 years. 1:16 to go, 3rd quarter. The shovel pass to Wilkerson's just not there. He's pulled down at the 10 by number 53, Curtis Moore, who's come up with a lot of good plays tonight for the London Monarchs.
I think they've got to go back and run that counter trap they were running so well if they're going to run Wilkerson. The counter trap and the draw are better plays.
Let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Roger, you saw Richard Carey injured a couple of plays ago. He's here with me now. You cramped up. That's the only problem.
Yeah, my calves are cramping. I'm looking forward to getting back in here in a few seconds.
Well, that's the situation, Richard. Congratulations, you can get back in. What happens, guys, is in a cold, damp environment, your muscles, if you're not stretched right, will literally cramp up on you, and that's what happened to Carey.
Bob Liljadal with the short punt goes out to the 40-yard line, just 29 yards on the punt. So the Monarchs going to have great field position.
Fresh, pure, and natural. The only beer with the genuine taste of the king of beers, Budweiser.
That's a pretty good imitation.
A moment, a conversation,
It shouldn't feel any different when you're talking long distance. We think you should be able to call anyone, anywhere, anytime, and still save money. That's why we invented the new AT&T Any Hour Saver plan. We don't think you should have to make lists or watch clocks. $10 for an hour of calls anytime. Then bonus prices of just 11 cents a minute after 5 and on weekends. Because how you talk is your business. Making it more affordable is ours.
When it crunches, that's why I love Nestle Crunch. Gotta have it, it's so scrumptious. Love that chocolate when it crunches. Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch Scrunches.
The world's best players came together for one of their biggest events. Now only 2 remain. It's the final of the Lipton International Players Championships, next on ABC Sports.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium in London. I'm Roger Twibell along with Dick Vermeil and Jack Carew. We saw Reggie Slack a moment ago pitch to nobody.
Well, what happened, we were just listening to what the coaches were talking about. Reggie called a 38, which is to the right, and he ran 39 to the left. Maybe at Houston, the whole numbering system was different, and he reverted back under pressure. That happens a lot.
Well, after the short punt, the Monarchs have got in great shape. 1st and 10 from the 40. 28 seconds ago, they'll hand it up the middle to Garrett. Loose ball. Football came loose inside, and they're signaling London still has it. And the clock continues to run. Monarchs lead it 13-10 over the Knights. Looked like Paul Baradelli, the left guard, 4-year starter from Villanova, who is in his 3rd year of professional football.
He's a piece of work.
Oh, he is.
He really
He's a beauty. 13-10, Monarchs lead it. We'll be back after this word from our ABC stations.
They're just a couple of playboys, taking their women for everything they're worth. Steve Martin and Michael Caine are Dirty Rotten Scoundrels Sunday.
David Copperfield.
The magic for the 90s.
David Copperfield vanished an airplane. David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear. Now live on stage. New David Copperfield illusions. Realigning logic. Redefining magic. David Copperfield.
Charge by phone, 410-481-SEAT.
I'm Cy Sperling, president of Hair Club for Men. If you have thinning hair, then this new booklet is something you should have. If you call our toll-free number, we'll send you our new brochure, which contains information about various hair replacement methods, including what the FDA has to say about the drug minoxidil. Of course, you'll also learn about Hair Club's new non-surgical polyfuse method.
Whether wet right out of the shower or blown dry before going out, it looks and feels natural, just like a part of you. Hair Club's new polyfuse method literally fuses top-quality human hair to your own hair.
Even when you feel around the perimeter of your head, I mean, you really cannot feel anything in your hair.
It really gave me more ways to be able to do my hair, and I could do it in more of a 90s fashion.
A new healthy head of hair can renew confidence and improve self-esteem. It may also bring out the best of who you are.
So make sure you call our toll-free number to receive our new brochure. It's loaded with information so you can make the right choice for yourself. And by the way, I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client.
Sports with Chris Ely, tonight at 6:30.
We're back to start the final 15 minutes with the defending World League champion London Monarchs leading the Knights 13-10. They've got it 2nd and 9 at the 39-yard line of New York, New Jersey.
Blue 25! Set!
Gilbaugh down the middle. It's got Popson, the backup tight end. Ted Popson with the reception down at the 32-yard line. Wes Pritchett made the tackle. Want to update you. The game Ohio at Orlando. That's at the Citrus Bowl. Amir Rasul with a 5-yard touchdown run. The extra point failed, and Orlando leads it 13-9. Back here, 3rd and 1, and that was number 20, Jeff Alexander,
Go for it.
as Ron Sancho makes the stop close to the first down.
Ray Wilsey just told him to go for this 4th down situation. Last year they were 4 for 6 in this situation. Go for it, make it. That kind of an offensive line, you might as well do it. Quarterback sneak.
3rd quarter, that
they'll be right up behind Big Doug
Orlando,
Marone,
13-9.
Paul Berardelli, and Larry Jones inside that offensive line.
4th and less than a yard.
Offside.
Flags all over the place as the quarterback sneak by Gelbaugh. Sancho was coming in from the outside.
Offside.
And a little pushing and shoving going on, and
well, they were offside.
Trying to get the London players away so they can make the call.
Before the snap, ball start on the offense, 5 yards.
Boy, they have had some critical penalties in this game.
I didn't see that. Let's take a look here. See if we can see anybody moving. Now, if I don't believe that. I think that was a poor call. I didn't see anybody move prior to the snap.
Come on, Doug. Come on, Doug.
Alsbury back to punt. 4 kicks so far for 36 yards, and Davis Smith standing at his 10.
Oh, nice when he got it up there real high. They might be able to down that inside. He can do it.
They got it.
Yeah, good
inside
job.
the 10. Looks like about the 8-yard line. 13:22 to go in this game from Wembley Stadium in London. The Monarchs lead the Knights 13-10.
I use a shampoo for dandruff, but my scalp still itches like crazy.
You need new Scalpicin, the revolutionary scalp medicine for deep scalp itch, not ordinary dandruff. Scalpicin is not a shampoo. It's a clear liquid you don't wash away like shampoo. Apply Scalpicin anytime for deep scalp itch relief with medicine chosen by doctors over all these dandruff shampoo formulas. Scalpicin penetrates to relieve the itch and help prevent flaking.
The itch is gone.
New Scalpicin, the scalp medicine for deep scalp itch.
Last week at the Lake Edna KFC, there were 2 incredible occurrences. One was the long-awaited introduction of new skin-free crispy chicken. People were astonished that skin-free chicken could be so crispy and juicy, astounded over the deep marinated taste. And the UFO is interesting, too. Get 3 great kinds of chicken, including new skin-free crispy in a variety bucket, just $9.99. The juiciest deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
I'd like to make a simple point about a gasoline additive called ProGuard. You see, without proper care, even new car engines accumulate deposits that can lead to a rough-running engine. Fortunately, there's a ProGuard. Added to a single tank full of gasoline, ProGuard's patented Tecron chemistry begins cleaning deposits not only from fuel injectors, but throughout your engine's intake system for a noticeably smoother performance.
ProGuard, for a smoother running engine.
It is the tournament where legends are made. Golf's first major of the year, the Nabisco Dinah Shore. Coverage begins Saturday on ABC Sports.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. They're rocking and rolling here. 30,000 plus. They got the skylights. They got the music going. 1st and 10 for the Knights.
Well, they'll probably throw the ball because they've had that situation 18 times, and they're throwing 15, and I think the defense probably knows it too.
On 1st down. From the 9-yard line. Lewis in motion. Make it 16 times, all nearly intercepted, and once again thrown behind the receiver. Howard Fagans was the man right there who could have had it.
Not quite settling down in the hole quickly enough. That's the way I see it.
After 3 quarters, the numbers look like this. The Knights with more 1st downs. The rushing yardage not really significant, though.
No, in fact, the running game hasn't been used as much as it should be, but you can see that the 3rd quarter became London's 3rd quarter, and that's when they picked up all the yards and moved ahead of New York, New Jersey.
2nd and 10, Kip Lewis in motion to the near side. Downfield, got a man right there at the 25-yard line. That's 86 for the Knights. That's the veteran Lonnie Turner, 5'7", 170. Cedric Dodge made the tackle.
Here you'll see the zone coverage. Notice nobody covering him one-on-one. Now 86 Turner turns to the inside. He turns underneath there like that. Now the safety comes up. That's not a real good tackle. Normally Cedric Dodge, number 33, will nail you a lot more physically than that.
Turner, 5 receptions, 63 yards, but he's got an injury and he comes out of the game for the moment on 1st and 10 from the 26. Byron Williams in to take his spot. Burbage with the reception at the 36-yard line. That should be enough for a first down. Howard Fagan's on the tackle. Let's go to Jack Aru. Jack?
Well, Roger, defensive coordinator for the Monarchs, Jim Washburn, brought a little bit of home with him from Shelby, North Carolina, his strapping son, Jeremiah. But wait a minute, Jeremiah, Shelby High School, where you go to school, is in session right now. What are you doing over here?
Well, just helping out with the team, experience in England.
Well, he's having that, and he's going to fax back his homework, guys, back to Shelby, North Carolina, so he can stay in with his class.
We couldn't have done that.
No,
you know that,
I'll
Rod?
tell you what,
we
didn't get any of the breaks, did we? Handoff. That's Wilkerson. Busts a tackle, loses a football.
London got it.
Oh, they're going to give it. They're signaling it's New York, New Jersey football. I think they're going to say it was out of bounds as Wilkerson coughed it up.
He was sitting on the ball with his feet out of bounds. Did not call that possession. You'll see the ball get knocked out right here now. He's going to spin around. Good running effort. Keep that ball in there tight, Wilk. It gets knocked out right there. Now you'll see the defender sit on the football. That's Derek Dodge. He's sitting on it, and his foot goes out of bounds, and he doesn't have control. Good call.
So Dedrick Dodge knocked it, but it maintains possession for the Knights. 2nd and 2.
See, those refs never make a mistake.
No. Slack is nailed, but the pass is dropped. It was right there by Monty Gilbert.
You have a shot of that?
And Reggie Slack got pummeled. The man who did it was Curtis Moore.
How he got that one off, I don't know. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Watch, he's going to step up and throw, and now what? Wham! Oh, does that hurt? You're totally exposed. Your rib cage. Man, he's tough.
Curtis Moore, a draft pick by the Houston Oilers from the University of Kansas, and that's called hanging tough in the pocket there, Dick.
You bet. You
and
bet.
the thing, the pass was right on the money, and it was dropped.
You know, if you weren't a football knowledgeable person, you would pick out tonight, you would pick out Curtis Moore as being a player. He flashes out here. He catches your eye. If you came here as a scout without a roster, you would pick this guy out.
Absolutely. Timeout by London with 10:41 to go. They lead the Knights by 3.
You rode the same rides, ate the same junk, got the same heartburn. But his antacid's different from yours. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums.
Thanks for joining us. Susan, what's new tonight?
Nothing, honey.
Can't you make up something, darling?
Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch is new with a deliciously sweet new recipe.
Anything new?
Nothing, honey.
Anything changed?
Nothing, honey.
Anything different?
Nothing, honey.
See you tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
It's a whole new Nut and Honey Crunch, and you'll love the nutty sweet taste.
He just won't open up. Watch this. What's new, Pete?
Nothing, honey.
Like a brick wall.
New Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch.
Your dream is sea breezes off Cape Cod. But it's sweat, not dreams, that's going to get you there. And you need a deodorant you can depend on. Old Spice deodorant actually helps stop odor before it starts by killing odor-causing bacteria on contact. 99%. That's odor prevention you can count on with the clean scent of Old Spice.
Permission to come aboard?
Old Spice deodorant. It does a number on odor-causing bacteria, 99%.
NFL players are banging heads in the World League. It's too legit to miss.
The excitement of the World League continues next week on ABC Sports.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. 3rd down and 2 from the 45-yard line for the Knights. What about this 3rd down play, Dick?
Well, I think they're going to throw the football because that's been their personality all along. And they don't have a power off tackle running play or an I formation that includes a tight end. So they'll throw the ball probably down here to the left, the bottom of the screen.
Gilbreth is a motion man.
One special.
He's audibling right now, Roger.
Called number 1 special. Dedrick Dodge was up on the line of scrimmage, dropped all the way back, and Slack has got a man. It's a first down at the 42-yard line. Crossman makes the tackle of number 88, Kip Lewis.
You know what happened? Reggie Slack audibled, saw the blitz coverage. Defensively, they audibled, go back into the zone. He did a real nice job of readjusting his thoughts and going back to the zone side of the pattern. Excellent quarterbacking by Reggie Slack.
14 yards on the pickup. First and 10, 41-yard line.
Go!
They're coming hard for London. Slack's got a man. Burbage breaks a tackle. One man to beat. Touchdown Knights. 41 yards on the touchdown pass from Reggie Slack to his receiver, Cornell Burbage, and what a terrific job of running with the football.
You'll see the blitz all picked up inside. People knocked down. Good throwing lane coming right down there, the middle screen. Poor tackling right there. The defender had to take his eyes off the receiver. Now he just turns on that old kick return speed. Remember, Burbage was a fine kick returner for the Dallas Cowboys at one time.
Trainer, the extra point attempt, and it's good. So Kendall Trainer with the extra point, and the Knights with 9:55 to go take the lead 17-13. Burbage, look at the catch here, is Fagans, doesn't get the tackle.
You can say that Microsoft Windows makes the world a better place, a nation more productive, a business more profitable. But really, Microsoft Windows just makes your everyday work easier. Isn't that the point of personal computing anyway? Microsoft Windows.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day, find it.
In a world of sweeping changes, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential Rock Solid.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day.
No better way to face the day, find it.
Real early.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium as the Knights have taken the lead 17-13 with 9:55 to go. Kendall Trainer will kick it off, and remember, he has trouble with this 1-inch tee. He said he was going to just try to kick it high to the corners. The two men back, Charlie Young and Leonard Conley at the 5-yard line. Well, he kicked it to the corner. It's rather low, and Young takes it and falls out of bounds at the 3-yard line. What a mistake. Let's go to Jackaroo.
Well, Roger, I'm with the guy that just scored that touchdown for the Knights, Cornell Burbage. That was sweet.
Well, just a pass come my way, and I broke a tackle and just took it all the way. That's about all I can say.
When you got to break that tackle, did you think you were going to be able to juke him that way?
I knew I was going to be gone once I broke it. I mean, I just felt it.
Roger?
Okay, Jack, thank you. That's what those Knights of old would wear, before they put that big helmet on, right? That's right. Cloth hat, 7 plays.
The iron mesh helmet on.
91 yards, 3:27 the time. As we get set, London, 1st and 10 at their own 4-yard line. Gelbaugh, 15 of 27, 238 yards. Handed off to Garrett up the middle, and he is stood right up by Doug Mikolas. Last year led the team with 38 tackles. He's a real character, isn't he?
He is a piece of work. I had a nice visit with Doug, and this is going to be his last year playing football. Now, he says he's only 30. I would guess he's probably 32. Married, has a nice child, nice family. He's going to coach, but he doesn't know if he's going to coach high school football or accept an assistant coaching job in a college. And he has both opportunities going for him right now.
2nd and 9 after the 1-yard pickup. You saw those scores from the other World League games. Keep you updated on them as this game progresses. Out to the near side. That was Foster who makes the catch, and he got stuck, but good by Tony Jones. 7 yards on the pickup. He'll be a couple shy of the first down.
Let's go flex left. Quick scout right, 181, seam hash, 0-1, ready?
All right, he's going to throw left. He's going to run quick outs with the slot man running the post pattern down the hole. Quick out patterns.
Blue 25. Blue 25. Side. Hut.
3rd down and 2.
Oh.
Deflected at the line of scrimmage by Cecil Fletcher. Intended for Ford out to the near side, but a nice job by Fletcher to knock it down. And I want to remind you, next on ABC Sports, it'll be a big tennis match as 6-seeded Michael Chang takes on Alberto Mancini. $200,000 to the winner of the Lipton International Players Championship. Vermeil, you better work on that backhand and get out in the senior tour. That's live except on the West Coast. Next on ABC as Alsbury will punt it for the 6th time. End over end, Davis Smith right at midfield and is pulled down on a fine tackle by number 34 on the coverage. That was Roland Smith. 40 yards on the punt, and we'll be back right after this.
Ever wonder why your face hurts after you shave? It's simple. When you shave, you lose face because you strip away the moisture that's there to protect it, and that hurts. But now you can start saving face with new conditioning hydrogel from Allspice. Used every day, it adds moisture and keeps it there to help defend against the assault of shaving, so your face feels and stays that way. So why lose face? Start saving face with Allspice Conditioning Hydrogel.
Come morning, I need a cereal that wakes me up and gets me going. These are just flakes. Just looking at them makes me want to snooze. Hold on a minute. Simple, wholesome, tastes good. Heavens, yeah. This could put some giddy up in my get along. What do you call it?
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes? You got me, didn't you? I hate that.
Taste them again for the first time.
Last week at the Lake Edna KFC, there were 2 incredible occurrences. One was the long-awaited introduction of new skin-free crispy chicken. People were astonished that skin-free chicken could be so crispy and juicy, astounded over the deep marinated taste. And the UFO was interesting, too. Get 3 great kinds of chicken, including new skin-free crispy in a variety bucket, just $9.99. The juiciest deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
And welcome back after that questionable 3rd down call. Yard and a half to go. They tried to throw it. London did, Dick.
It was less than a yard and a half to go, really. I think when they look that over, they'll second-guess themselves.
Good field position right now for the Knights. 1st and 10 from the 49. McLemore is the lone setback. Like to get a bigger blocker in there. Good block right there by McLemore, and the pass thrown downfield to Lewis. He's looking for a flag. He doesn't get it, as Dedrick Dodge was the man on the coverage. And you know, London would like to get off to a good start early because, Dick, this is the way they finish. At the Knights, then Orlando, Montreal, and Frankfurt at the end of the year.
4 on a row on the road. Really tough.
Conversely, the Knights on the road in Europe start with a tiebreaker game in Frankfurt. Now here in London, they go to Barcelona. So
this would really be big for them if they could continue to go on and win this one.
Go! 2nd and 10. A lot of pressure on Slack. He can't get away, and he's pulled down right at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Danny Lockett, the man who dragged him down from behind, and good pressure by Rich McCullough to force him out. And this is, of course, we're going to call it Mouse's European vacation. New York to Frankfurt. Of course, that was for the tiebreaker. Frankfurt to London for this game. London back to Frankfurt, where they're going to practice. Then Frankfurt to Barcelona. Then Barcelona after the game there to New York. 3 games, over 9,000 miles, 18 days. Just your average couple of weeks in the World
I hope
League.
they get to accumulate the miles.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it. That's why we fly. 3rd and 10. Slack hit from behind by Lockett, and the pass is incomplete.
Again, that's an example there, I think, of beating the back physically. Boy, that's tough when the quarterback sets that short, that close to the line of scrimmage, and then holds on the ball. Hey, sooner or later, a guy like Lockett's going to get there.
Dick, we talked about the tiebreaker. It's the second most important factor when you get to the end of the year. They played games, the winner of those games, as if there's a tie at the end of the year, you go to head-to-head, and then the second most important is if you played and won a tiebreaker game. There's a flag down as there was movement on the near side. That was Tony Jones.
Tony,
5 yards. 4th down, sir.
Frank Gans Jr., the special teams coach for New York, New Jersey, is going to get upset with that. You notice that name? Recognize Frank Gans' name?
Former head coach of the Chiefs, and now he's special team coach with the Packers?
Well, his son is special teams coach right here. Yeah. And I'm sure if he's anywhere close to the caliber his dad is, he's going to be a good one.
Well, Lil Jadal started with a 54-yarder. Then he had a 47-yarder, but his last one was only 29 yards on a 4th and 14. That's a low kick. Conley lets it bounce, and it will roll to the 22-yard line. And 34-yard punt there by Lil Jadal. And next Sunday on ABC Sports, World League action continues. The 1991 North American West Division champion Birmingham meets San Antonio, or it'll be Sacramento at Ohio. That's in Columbus. That's live at 1 Eastern, 12 noon Central and Pacific next week on ABC Sports. And Dick and I will be in Birmingham.
I guess barbecue ribs, huh? Barbecue ribs?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 5:57 left to go.
Blue 25. Son, hit.
1st and 10 from the 22. Pressure on Gelbaugh again, and they've got him. 91 was the first man, Tony Woods, and that's the first time they've been able to get to Gelbaugh. David Dean, 99, was also in there. And last year, Woods had 7.5 sacks, and that tied him for the lead for the Knights.
What he did, he took a jump move to the inside. The offensive tackle set a little too firm to the outside. Woods got underneath him.
Well, Joe Herring told us they were going to come hard at Gelbaugh. It's a good offensive line in front of him, the Nasty Boys. 6 yards on the loss. 2nd and 16.
Blue 25. Side.
Near side. That ball bounced. That bounced. It was intended for Bernard Ford, and Tony Jones was over on the coverage. Tony, a good defensive back, 37 tackles, couple of interceptions last year. Jones played his college football at Florida.
He was originally drafted as a wide receiver.
5'10", 183.
Pretty bright guy, too. You know, he's a high school academic All-American.
3rd down and 16.
Blue 95.
With 4:51 to go. Big 3rd down play for the Monarchs, and no way. 92, Slichting got in there and dumped him. Slichting had 6.5 sacks last year, 7 yards on the loss, so they hadn't had a sack all night, Dick, and they get 2 in this series.
Actually, the Knights are giving the Monarchs a little of the stuff that they've been dishing out in the years past. He had to hold on to the football. Good coverage downfield. The rush kept coming. Good intensity in the rush. Finally, they get to him. They're a little excited about it, too.
Good play by the Knights defense as Alsbury back in his own end zone. Ball at the 9-yard line. His average 33 yards so far tonight.
Ooh, gets it up there. Hard to return that.
And a fair catch being waved for, and a good catch by Davis Smith, but the Knights with really good field position, 31 yards on the punt. Ray Wilsey, the new head coach. Larry Kennan led the Monarchs to the World Bowl championship last year, and he talked about why he left to become the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks.
Well, you know, I think Kyle Floyd's often did a job good because I worked for him for 6 years at the Raiders, and we won a world championship there. And I was very flattered when he called and offered me the position, and yet it was hard for me to leave the World League. I basically told him no for a couple of weeks, and then it became apparent that the opportunity to beat the Contours in Seattle was too good an opportunity to pass up.
1st and 10 from the 40. The handoff right up the middle to Chris McLemore, third-year pro from the University of Arizona. Danny Lockett up to make the stop. Now, in the run and shoot, what sort of ball control offense do you have, Dick?
You really don't. You notice that time they tightened up both wingbacks right outside the tackle and ran straight ahead, but they really don't have ball control. Their ball control is throwing the football, that short stuff, coming out that little short half roll that they come out with, and reading the coverages.
And they want to use some clock with 3:38 left to go.
Go!
Near side,
out of bounds.
Burbage out of bounds. On the coverage is Howard Fagans. What about the move by Kennan, briefly? Do you think that was a good move going to Seattle?
It's hard to turn down that kind of job. You know, the World League at this time is still not up to where they can pay the head coach what a top offensive coordinator makes in the National Football League, and you've got to think about your family and all those other things. I'll bet you this, he had more fun here last year than he'll have next year.
Here we go, here we go. Let's go, get your head around now. Let's go rip. 960 on 2, ready?
Knights 3 of 9 on third down situations. It's 3rd and 10 with 3:24 to go. The officials have stopped the clock here, discussing something.
You know, if this game continues to going way like it is right now, the Monarchs are going to look back to that holding penalty when they score the touchdown, and it's called back as
and the field goal too.
And a field goal.
Yeah. Move the ball up 5 yards.
Move the ball up 5 yards. You bet.
Slack's going to run it, and he is stuck. He is stuck by Dedrick Dodge at the 35-yard line. Not enough for the first down, and it'll be 4th and about 5.
See, Dedrick Dodge was with the Seattle Seahawks as a backup safety last year. He played here in the World League last year, and he can hit you. See coverage taken away. Take a look. Listen to this. Ooh.
Man, you're not even safe when you're sliding. No. You're going to put those feet up. You got to go in with your spikes high to kind of play like that.
Slide earlier. This is a crucial play right here on 4th down.
4 punts for Lil Jadal, averaging 41 yards, standing right at midfield. 2:40 left to go on a 4th and 5.
You might as well come after it, this 4th down situation, or otherwise going to punt it out of the end zone anyway.
And they'll take too much time, move it back.
Give them a little better chance of dropping it inside that 5-yard line.
Dick, we talked at the top of the show about your impressions coming into this year as compared with this time last year. We're nearly through this first game. What do you think?
Hey, there isn't any comparison between the opening game that we did last year in Barcelona and this game right now. And it's just even close. Offensively, defensively, everything they're doing is so much more precise and well coached and prepared.
Lil Jadal, second best punter in the World League last year, and had 13 punts down to inside the 20.
They ought to come after him.
91.
Just come after him.
Conley's back at the 10. Oh, that's a nice high kick. Bounces in the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20, 40 yards on the punt. And next Saturday, Championship Hopes Springs Eternal on ABC Sports. First, the road to bowling's Triple Crown starts with the $300,000 Bud Light PBA National Championship. Then it's one of the biggest events in women's golf. 3-time winner Amy Alcott defends her title as coverage of the Misco Dinosaur begins. It's all live Saturday on ABC Sports. And here we go, 17-13 Knights, 2:26 left. And the Monarchs, the defending World League champs who have beaten this Knights team 3 times, have it 1st and 10 from the 20. Gelbaugh nearly picked off. Back there was number 33, Dan Land, who played in all 16 games for the LA Raiders last year.
And they expect him to be a real good nickel player in their nickel defenses next year with the Raiders. He was protected And as Steve Ottmeyer said to me this morning, this guy's a good football player, and he'll be back.
He was a running back at Albany State, and then they switched him to a defensive back, so he's still learning the position.
You bet.
On 2nd and 10. Gelbaugh comes near side, and he's got Foster up to the 24-yard line where Tony Jones will knock him out.
You remember early in the game they ran the screen passes and all that and were very efficient and effective. They haven't run them since. You've got to keep those
81.
good things. You've got to keep those good things on your mind.
Quick scout left.
Foster was able to get out of bounds.
He's going to throw a quick out here, try to get the first down.
Well, it's 3rd and 7. Too low. Had a lot of pressure on him that time. Tony Woods and also Cecil Fletcher were up there in his face as the ball was too low to Foster.
See, when you throw those quick passes and 3-step drops, you can't have anybody by the quarterback. Now, see, Fletcher, right, the running back was not aggressive enough. He has to attack that guy.
Looks like there's a penalty marker.
Is that a first down? Is that a first down?
We didn't get the official's call as a 5-yard penalty, and no, Ray Woolsey, it doesn't get you a first down. You're about 2 yards short, and they're going to go for it.
Okay.
No, it's it's 3rd and 1. Excuse me, it's 3rd and 1. And Garrett with the reception, that does get you the first down.
But I don't know what the penalty was.
No, they never gave us the signal on the penalty.
89. 80.
And they're going to run the clock down to the 2-minute warning. So timeout on the field. Knights lead it 17-13. We'll be back to London.
Go over to Wilsey's bench with the
ABC Sports and Nutmeg Mills have come together to create ABC Sportswear. ABC Sportswear by Nutmeg. Now for the real sports fan, the best is here.
Crisp, clean, Old Spice. It puts the wind in your sails.
We're down to 2 minutes. Roger Twibell, Dick Vermeil, Jack Arute here with you. In the final 2 minutes in the World League, the clock will stop on first downs. The Monarchs have 2 timeouts left, the Knights 3. That was an offsides penalty. The flag was thrown at the other side of the field. We never got the official call on it, but we have since learned that 5-yard penalty. We've talked about some of the crucial penalties against the Monarchs. That was awfully big against the Knights.
You bet.
And the officials having a conference. They might be talking about that call. I don't know.
You know, someone said there was a flag thrown. I just never saw it.
I
looked
the
all
flag
over the
either.
Field. Play, drop the hanky and pick it up as
You've
quick
had
as you
a couple
can.
phantom flags called on you. And
more than a couple.
Yeah.
When you coach 24 years, you had more than a couple, believe me.
First, you had a couple go your way, too.
Oh, yeah.
They have a way of evening out.
Oh, yeah. Hey, they do. All you have to do is coach about 44 years.
1st and 10. 32-yard line.
25! Blue 25! Son!
Gelbaugh's being chased. He gets the pass downfield, and it's incomplete. Sargent was the intended receiver, but that was
Brian
Smith number 78, who was really coming after him, 6'6", 268.
They think he's the #1 acquisition this year in the draft. He's coming around the pressure from the right side now. See him here, he's chasing him. He has good speed. Mikolos is down on the ground. He forces this poor throw, but it still is almost complete. Really close. Good effort right there.
2nd and 10. Gelbaugh going far side. Who does he go to? He goes to Garrett. and tiptoes down the line and gets the first down.
See, you have a guy that's going for you like he was early in the game. You're getting in the ball game, and then you forget about it. Chances are the defense didn't take it away. You just forget to get him the football. Minute 47. Raj, I'd look for him to throw that ball deep here pretty quick because New York is going to come up and try to blitz him one of these and change up and come after with some pressure. You watch. Here it is now.
Gelbaugh gets smacked, but he gets the pass downfield and completed to number 85, Tony Sargent. 18 yards on the reception, and that was Mark Moore on the coverage, but A.J. Jimerson really put it to him. Clock stops on the first down, but it's running.
See, now he did. He went deep against that blitz coverage. He just had to anticipate that coming.
First and 10 from the 40. Going far side, right on his shoe tops. And the reception's made by Bernard Ford. They call it complete as the clock continues to run with 1:10 now.
He called a timeout.
Left to go. And finally, well, they haven't stopped it. Now they finally get it at 1:08. So that means there's one timeout left for the Monarchs. Gelbaugh's talking to George Warhop, the offensive coordinator.
Watch the stunts because they're going to bring the heat. Yep. Keep them off your ass. All right? Yep. Where the hell's the water? Right here.
Well, so the quarterback, Stan Gelbaugh, is offensive coordinator, and the head coach, Ray Wilsey, with 1:08 left to go. They trail by 4. It's 2nd down and 6 at the 35-yard line of the Knights.
Now, if I'm calling the plays, I'm thinking, well, the last time I was in blitz coverage, they hit me in a post down the hole. I think I'll change up. I'll loosen up. I'll go to some zone. So I'm calling the plays. I come with a screen, or I work back inside zone patterns to Garrett. Real easy to call him up here, Rod.
Yeah,
I've made a mistake all day.
Yeah, well, you haven't made a mistake for years, have you?
No. You don't speak to my wife often, do you?
About 8. About 8 years, huh?
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Twins right. Deep scat right. 872. Flat drive.
872. He's going to run a delay slot corner, hoping to get some man-to-man coverage.
Well, Twins right. He's got
the right side here.
He's got Sargent out there, and he has Sean Foster with Garrett, the wingback. Pressure applied, and the ball is going to be thrown out of bounds. 94 really put the chase.
See?
And that was Marlette, who came after Gelbaugh in a hard manner.
You heard him say 874. This is an 8 pattern being run right there. The post pattern on the backside. If he sees that, he should move backside and work against that one-on-one coverage.
Pat Marlette was the man that gave chase. Now, on 3rd down and 6, the Monarchs 4 for 13 in 3rd down situations. Just over a minute to go. Near side, Foster's got it, and he reaches to get the first down.
Here's the guy that's playing in place of Horton. Just a little turnout, throws it to the outside like he has to, being driven on right there by Tony Jones, and knocks him out of bounds.
Foster, 7 receptions, 121 yards.
And remember, you can't bump the receiver.
First down, ready?
He's going to go deep. All 3 receivers going deep, with the seam being the back going down the seam.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line, 56 seconds to go. Monarchs going to the corner. Touchdown! From Gelbaugh to Sean Foster, Vince Corville, the veteran from Rice, was the man that was beat. Point after. Alexander, good. 51 seconds left to go. The Monarchs lead the Knights 2017. And a big game for Stan Gelbaugh. 23 of 40, 322 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Dick, last year he had 4 games where he passed for over 300 yards. He's done it in the first game of 92.
They come man-to-man coverage. You heard us say a little while ago that he should have thrown left to the post pattern. They come back now with just go patterns. If they get the man-to-man, he throws the go pattern. If he gets the double zone, he uses the seam patterns down the hole. Here he gets the man-to-man. Corvell, number 21, freezes, hangs on him, actually puts his left hand on him, the ball thrown exactly where it had to be. Touchdown. Another look, see everything being picked up inside. Good protection, and he lays it up. He gets the ball up in the air so the receiver can run under it. And Gelbaugh, does he love this? He has been here before.
World League Offensive Most Valuable Player in 1991, off to a great start in 92 as Alexander to kick it. Burbage back deep for the Knights, who've got 3 timeouts in 51 seconds, and that's a lot in the run and shoot offense. Burbage has got some space. He's to the 33-yard line, where he's brought down by number 99, Anthony Thompson. Let's go to Jackaroo.
And they've got this place rocking. The Wembley Stadium is rocking because of Sean Foster. What a terrific catch.
I love it. I love big plays like this. That's what they got me for. They said they want to make big plays today. Everybody, coaches, even the hotel people, we need to make big plays.
Well, they made a big play today when it counted. They don't seem to miss Horton now.
Okay, Jack, I guess not.
You know, he's the same guy who did it last week.
Yeah, he did it in the
tiebreaker
scrimmage.
game.
Yeah, the tiebreaker scrimmage. 45 seconds to go. Reggie Slack, far side. His receiver was number 89, Byron Williams. And they called it incomplete. Kendall Traynor is on the sideline now. He has kicked his career longest field goal tonight. And remember, in the World League, overtime, each team gets at least 1 possession.
They get at least 1 shot. If you're going to be in a style of offense and down by 3 with 40 seconds to go, you're fortunate if you are coaching the run and shoot. It's best adaptable to this type of situation.
Slack has missed his last 4 passes, 40 seconds to go. He goes underneath. He's got Lewis, and he makes it to the near side, and he's got the first down. Harvey Wilson is the man who runs him out of bounds. Kip Lewis from a football family. His dad's been a good coach for many years, Sherm Lewis.
Yeah. Now he's the offensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. Imagine moving from San Francisco to Green Bay.
Well, just one bay to the other, right? 33 seconds to go. Ball at the 44-yard line. Go! Had a lot of time. Got the ball in there. Burbage, 82, calls it. No.
It's a first down.
Yeah, but he's calling the timeout.
He shouldn't have.
Well, he shouldn't have. And they made a mistake. Keep in mind, first down, final 2 minutes. The clock stops. 2 timeouts left for the Knights. We'll be back after this.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
You rode the same rides, ate the same junk, got the same heartburn. But his antacid's different from yours. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Blades uses an aluminum salt.
This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums.
Now they're singing Yellow Submarine here at Wembley Stadium. This has been something tonight, folks. I'll tell you what, this has been very enjoyable.
Didn't I tell you you love it? Huh? Hey, Brent, eat your heart out.
And it's a great football game, too. We've got 25 seconds to go. 1st and 10. 43-yard line of the Monarchs. Slack down the middle's got his man right there, Monty Gilbreth. He is down to the 22-yard line, where Roland Smith makes the tackle. 21 yards on the reception. You better believe Mouse Davis told those guys, when you get a first down, don't call a timeout.
See, the other thing is they're already at 39-yard field goal range.
Let's do this. 66. Okay.
Okay, they did take the timeout there, so now they've got one left.
Go. Only one play. Now we're in field goal range. We can stick it in from here. So it has to be a safe play. Okay? We want it hard or nobody. We got it safe.
So Trainer, who had the 47-yard field goal earlier, which was his career best, is staying loose on the sideline. But this is the rule. I think it's a good rule, too, with the clock stopping on the first down, because now they got the one timeout left. Yep. So in this situation, they could, at the 22-yard line, obviously, get the first down. They don't want to use, that last timeout. They get the clock stopped so they can throw it out of bounds or such, as Gelbaugh is hoping that maybe, things will end with the Monarchs on top, or at least get a chance in overtime. Slack is thrown for over 300 yards, comes to Burbage, and the clock will continue to run. It's not a first down. Now it's 5 seconds.
Call a timeout.
They're trying to call timeout. There they get it with 1 second. And it's not over. I'll tell you what, they were trying to get to the official's attention.
I know it, but they wouldn't do it.
Now, I think the official in that situation, they got to be cognizant of what's going on, too.
They blew that.
I mean, there was... So Trainer will come in, and they'll set it down. Liljadal will set it down at the 22-yard line.
32-yard attempt.
A 32-yard attempt for Kendall Trainer.
He was 0 for 1 from this distance for these guys last year when he got here late.
Paul Wolf will snap it. And folks, we're going to overtime in London. We're tied at 20.
Now they...
We get a 3-minute break. 3-minute break. We flip it to determine the overtime.
3-minute break. They flip for the kickoff. Each team will get an opportunity to score.
The overtime is going to consist of one maximum 10-minute period, and each team will have the ball at least once on offense. The winner will be the team scoring the most points in an equal number of possessions. If time expires without any scoring, or expires when both teams have scored the same number of points in overtime, the game will result in a tie.
Right.
And the only exception is if one team would keep it for the entire 10 minutes and score on the last play, they win without the other team getting it. I think it's a good rule because I think it makes the teams more aggressive.
Oh, yeah. Again, being in a run-and-shoot style offense and coaching, in essence, you're coaching a 2-minute offense all year around. Big advantage.
Okay, Captain, that's a head, tail. Please call it while it's in the air. Tails. Tails, he calls. It's a head.
Okay, we want to kick up. We want to kick the ball.
You want to kick the ball. Which goal do you wish to defend?
Whew. This one.
Why not?
Well, that's interesting, isn't it, Dick?
Well, confidence in the defense.
Yeah.
Think they can hold him. Think they can hold him. End up with better field position.
The field goal by Trainer ties it, sends it to OT. We'll be back right after this.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in America, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The big Q is one tough motor oil.
Everybody hates to eat and run. We'd rather take it slow. But the way this life is going, gotta grab your food and go. And when all that running round catches up with you at last, get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing's faster or more effective than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
On this Welcome back. Tied at 20. We're set for overtime. 10 minutes as the decision after the Monarchs won the toss that they would kick off. And we are set to go here. OT at Wembley Stadium in London, along with Vermeil. I'm Roger Twyble. Jackaroo down on the sidelines.
See, now, Roger, I would have, just as an old, stupid coach, feel the other way. I would feel, well, New York, New Jersey had the momentum offensively. They're excited. They're all pumped. Their confidence up. I wouldn't let them go back on the field right away.
Burbage is back deep. Alexander to kick it off for the Monarchs. At the 7. A lot of room to the right. From your viewing angle, Burbage took it to the right, 38 yards on the return. And boy, a little altercation right there.
That's stupid, T. The coverage was really constricted inside. He found the wall outside, see, and he gets the real good gain. Now you don't want to commit any fouls and get moved back.
So as you saw it coming down the right side there, Burbage, it's the first time he's come that way to his left, or from your TV angle, the right side. A lot of space. Once again, I want to remind you, Lipton Tennis men's finals coming up next here on ABC Sports. Each team will get at least one possession in this overtime. So whether the Knights would kick a field goal, they'd score a touchdown, London would get a possession, and then they would try to score more points, obviously, and then that would end the game if they would. 1st and 10 from the 45.
Go! Red opposite! Red opposite! Go! Hut, hut.
Draw play. Wilkerson, penalty flag down. Dedrick Dodge and Ricky Shaw, the men on the tackle. There's Wilkerson, and he's laid out at the 45-yard line.
10 yards, repeat, first down.
Paul Wolf, the holding penalty, 10 yards on the penalty. We'll be back to Wembley Stadium in London in just a moment.
Fresh, pure, and natural. The only beer with the genuine taste of the king of beers, Budweiser.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection.
No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Other game here on ABC. Orlando beat Ohio 13-9. So we would like to welcome all you folks who are watching that game. We're in overtime here, tied at 20, first and 20 for the Knights at the 35-yard line. I'm Roger Twyba along with Dick Vermeil. Jack Arute down on the sidelines. 9:30 to go in the 10-minute overtime period. And Slack will move across the 40 to the 44-yard line. William Kirksey came up to make the stop. Wilkerson left the game. 9 carries, 40 yards in the overtime. Each team with 2 timeouts. And each team will get an opportunity to possess the football.
Here we go. Let's go. Load. 61X hook on 2. Ready?
They're going to run motion to the left, to the bottom of the screen. Here he comes.
That's Byron Williams. Burbage makes the reception. That's at the 47-yard line. Let's go down to Jack Arute. Jack?
Roger, the key to that decision by the Monarchs to kick off rather than receive after winning the toss is based upon the fact that each team is given a chance to have the ball on offense, unless one team, of course, keeps it for the entire 10-minute period. Now, that's different than in the NFL. So Ray Wilsey made the call saying, give my offense a chance to rest, let the defense that's been so strong be out there, be able to hold them, and then they won't have a chance to come back after we score.
Thanks, Jack. Burbage now 7 receptions, 99 yards. 3rd and 8. From behind, Black loses it, and then he gets it back at the 40. Lockett was the man that came in and made the contact.
Lockett has been a factor here in this second half. He must have heard us talking about him being 15 pounds overweight.
Lockett 7 tackles, 6 of them of the solo variety, and Lil Jadal will move back inside his 25 to kick it as Leonard Conley from the University of Miami stands at the 20.
He's quick as a hiccup too back there. He can really move.
Low snap.
Oh, nice punt. He should be able to return this.
Oh, and he is stuck at the 24-yard line. The man down there, number 21, Vince Corville, who was beaten on the touchdown pass from Gelbaugh to Foster, 37 yards on the punt. So now the situation is this. The Knights have had their possession, so if the Monarchs can score now, the game is over.
Game is over.
Scat left 414, flat angle, 0-1, running.
7:40 to go, 1st and 10 from the 24.
He's going to run a curl pattern to the flanker up on top of the screen.
Huddled up, guys, huddled up. TV.
Oh, well, we heard it from Stan Gelbaugh. Yeah. We don't need a producer. He just called a TV timeout. We'll be right back.
With service to more cities across the Atlantic than any other U.S. airline, Delta now makes it easier than ever for the people of America to get to know the people of Europe.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
Via.
Guten Tag.
Grüezi.
Delta. We love to fly and it shows.
Здравствуйте.
Last week at the Lake Edna KFC, there were 2 incredible occurrences. One was the long-awaited introduction of new skin-free crispy chicken. People were astonished that skin-free chicken could be so crispy and juicy, astounded over the deep marinated taste. And the UFO is interesting, too. Get 3 great kinds of chicken, including new skin-free crispy in a variety bucket, just $9.99. The juiciest deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. The Knights and the Monarchs tied at 27:40 to go. 1st and 10 from the 24.
Blue 25. Shine.
Reception at the 37-yard line. That was Bernard Ford. That's just going to be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Landon Newton.
25.
Excuse me, first down, 13 yards on that reception.
No huddle.
Penalty markers down. Once again, completed pass across midfield. Ford with the reception. And that'll be another first down, depending on who the penalty is, but it looks like it's going to be on the Monarchs.
Motion or holding? What are they signaling?
Illegal motion, number 20, 5 yards, still first down.
Stan Gelbaugh has had a terrific evening here at Wembley Stadium. 24-41, 335 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is the 4th overtime game in the World League. There were 3 last year.
Let's go.
Neither of these teams were involved.
Right. Quick scat left.
London
181 seam hash on 1. Ready?
11 penalties, 80 yards.
They're going to throw those quick stop patterns outside right now.
Blue 25.
Just trying to get 5 to 6 yards, not trying to get it all back at once.
First and 15 from the 32. Oh, Gelbaugh is clobbered.
Jesus, guys.
Doug Miklas.
I think they understood what he meant.
I think so.
See, they're not protecting the inside gap properly. When a guy's turned loose up inside like that, that's a mental mistake normally, not a physical mistake.
So Doug Miklas was a man that got to him. 2nd and 15.
Run.
6.5 to go in the overtime. Gelbaugh intercepted. And is he out of bounds? Yes, they say he's out of bounds. They say he is out of bounds. Dan Land, the man from the Raiders, picks it off. So now, because London didn't score, the Knights are going to get it back.
Yes, and see, he tried to throw that ball in a crowded area. You'll see to the right side of your screen, many white jerseys working around that blue jersey. 4 white jerseys, 1 blue jersey. Don't throw the ball there. You know, and New York, New Jersey defensive people came in believing they could take it away because, last year they took it away from him 8 times, intercepted him 8 times.
So now the situation is if the Knights score here, the game is over. 6:20 left in the overtime. Kip Lewis comes to the near side. Slack has completed 24 of 43 for 317 yards, and they're going to hand it off to McLemore, and he's going to get about 3 or 4 tough yards as they're going to work some of the clock right now.
Yeah.
They're a little strategy here.
The other thing, you notice them going with no huddle. Really, I think sometimes you get in an overtime situation, and it gives you the impression you ought to do that, but the way it is right now, you're not fighting the clock. Just go ahead and play normal football. It certainly hurt him there.
2nd and 6. That's Gilbreth going to the wide side. Slack looking down the middle. Intercepted. 33, Dedrick Dodge. And he's up to the 38-yard line where Truitt, 54, brings him down. And here we go the other way.
The old Cardinal rule. The old Cardinal rule, never throw the ball late down the middle. You had a safety, there he is, the left side of your screen, Dedrick Dodge, just sitting back there, waiting for it. Here it comes, bang, just sitting in there waiting for the quarterback to try to force that ball in there, and he did it. Ball going the other way.
3rd interception of Reggie Slack on the night, and 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line.
Blue 25. Set. Hut.
Delay. Alexander gets up to just about the 40-yard line. Dan Land and Mark Moore in on the stop.
Normally in pro football, you throw 1 more interception than your opponent, you lose 3 out of those 4 games, and that's over a long period of years.
Look at the total yards here.
Yeah, really even. Again, no huddle.
2nd and 8. Gelbaugh, that was nearly picked up, and a good catch by Bernard Ford. Carey was over there trying to go for the interception. Looked like he had a good shot at it. Gelbaugh zipped it in.
Here, good coverage. See, it's a deep out. He pushed him deep. Now he comes back. He actually sat there a little too long. He should come back and meet that ball because actually real good coverage that time.
Ford did a good job of screening him, though, when he saw the pass was going to go to his outside.
He should just keep coming back to the ball, though, because Richard Carey, number 23, almost came up and took it away because of that.
4:30.
Firmel.
Firm, see, he's telling maximum protection. He reads blitz. They're going to pick it up. Just threw it high.
Yeah, intended for Sargent. And pressure, Philandon Newton came in that time and put some pressure on the quarterback, Stan Gelbaugh.
4 minutes, 19 seconds to go, Raj. It still looks like to me they're trying to hurry up and win. To use the clock and win it.
We're at Wembley Stadium in London, the season opener for the defending World League champion London Monarchs. Over 30,000 on hand. 4:19 to go in the overtime. 2nd and 10 for London. Going deep.
Pass interference.
No call. The intended receiver was Bernard Ford. Richard Carey was back on the coverage. And in the World League, pass interference 15 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Unless it's intentional down there.
Yeah, well, there was no pass interference. They didn't call it, but it looked like it from up here high in the booth.
There's the man, Alexander.
He's getting warmed up now.
You bet. The hometown hero, if you will. He is from London. 3rd and 10 from the 45.
Let's go, Firmell!
Firms. All right, now they read blitz now. Here it comes.
And they're coming. Newton missed him. Gelbaugh gets it away, but incomplete, overthrown. The intended receiver, Tony Sargent, who's had a big night for the Monarchs.
You know, they have not done a good job of picking up the blitzes. That was not a difficult blitz. It wasn't a safety blitz. Just 3 linebackers coming. They should be able to handle that.
Dick, this is so much better than flipping a coin and letting somebody go down and kick a field goal. We've had a lot of action in this overtime.
We've had a lot.
Alsbury will do the punting. He's back at the 40. Davis Smith to return at the 10-yard line. 7 punts. He's averaged 33 yards. 3 have been down inside the 20.
Good punt. Got it up there high.
And that's at the 16-yard line. And so with 4:02 left to go, 29 yards on the punt. Want to remind you, the Lipton International, it'll be Michael Chang of the United States against Argentina's Alberto Mancini. That's coming up next here on ABC Sports, being played in Key Biscayne, Florida. So we're back to this situation. If the Knights can move it down and score, it's all over. At least 1 possession. They've been getting their share of possessions, right?
You bet they have.
Throws it, intercepted. Intercepted by number 58, Cecil Fletcher, and it's all over. Let me correct myself. That was William Kirksey, Dick, number 58.
There he is to the left
who made
side
the
of your
interception.
screen. There, he's just sitting right in there. Again, 3 blue jerseys, 1 white jersey, trying to force the ball in there, throwing his first interception, cost the ball game.
So William Kirksey with the interception and the touchdown from 23 yards out. So with 3:54 to go in overtime, the Monarchs beat the Knights. They have now won all 4 meetings against their counterparts from across the Atlantic. So for Jack Arute and Dick Vermeil, I'm Roger Twyvell. Thanks for being with us from London. We'll see you next week on ABC Sports.
Next, ABC Sports travels to Key Biscayne, Florida for one of the biggest events in tennis. Michael Chang meets Alberto Mancini in the men's final of the Lipton International Players Championships live. World League Football has been brought to you by Kentucky Fried Chicken. Nobody's cooking like today's KFC. By Kellogg's, proud sponsor of our 1992 U.S. Olympic team. By Old Spice Conditioning Hydrogel. It's the simple solution to saving face. And by Microsoft, making personal computing easier. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Weather with Bob Softgoods tonight at 6:30.